final scores from Saturday's NFL game. The New York Jets, 23-17. 10 other games are being played today. They are currently displayed on the scoreboard.
Quality of the AFC West.
Well, I think there's a lot of things that have happened. One is that Denver losing 2 Super Bowls in a row has caused them, a little bit of a problem emotionally to come back. Seattle, forever, they keep talking about their potential and when they're going to do it, and I think that they're in a fallback position. And, of course, the Raiders over the last 2 years have been in a transitional phase, hence the reason why the old cliche about on any given Sunday applies in the AFC West case.
Is the old Raider feeling still there, or has it vanished now? Are the Raiders just another team without the identity they used to have?
Well, I wouldn't agree with that, but I think it's something that happens when you win. Dan Reeves talked about the fact that fun in football is spelled W-I-N-N-I-N-G, and over the last 2 years we haven't done that. So the mystique of the Raiders has been over the last 20 years, that 700 winning percentage. All those other things about intimidation and black jerseys, that doesn't necessarily apply. Winning, as you know, in professional sports is the bottom line.
How about Todd Christensen? You've been on and off the injured reserve list, so that's part of it. But also, the Raider offense under Mike Shanahan is changing, and it's no longer the kind of offense where Todd Christensen's going to catch 85 or 90 passes.
Well, that's a darn shame, because it seems to have been fairly effective in the past, and I kind of enjoy it. But, again, I think you have to deal with the fact that Mike Shanahan is somebody who deals in a scheme. In the past, the Raiders have dealt more in matchup situations. And as everyone keeps saying, give him time, give him a chance to work, and who knows, we can still win the division.
Looking at you, I can tell it's an extremely comfortable day for football in Buffalo.
Yeah, I really wish that I was out there playing. Is my nose growing? Oh, wait, let me bring that back. Okay, no, I really wish I was out there contributing. Yeah, it's tons of fun. I really appreciate your having me out here in this weather. Thanks, Bob.
I have to compliment you, though, on the color scheme. Even out of uniform, in the silver and black. Very nice touch.
Well, thank you very much for complimenting on my clothes, but you know what, Bob, in all seriousness, there in New York, somewhere in a boys' department, I think there's some clothes for you.
Oh, fine. And on that note, Todd, have a very nice day.
Hey, thanks, Bob. You're beautiful. Except for the heel lifts, don't change.
Hey, Todd, I got to show you something. He comes by that full 5'7", honestly. And I mean, he does.
The same height as...
Today, from Rich Stadium, it's the Los Angeles Raiders versus the Buffalo Bills. Brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by AT&T, the right choice.
It's the 8th consecutive sellout at Rich Stadium in Buffalo, where today the Bills hope to break the NFL's all-time home attendance record. Yes, it's sold out, but there will be some empty seats at Rich Stadium today because of the weather. Guess what? It's cold in Buffalo. 8 degrees with a -14 wind chill. We've already had some snow today. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rich Stadium. A bundled up Tom Hammond and Joe Namath, ready to bring you what is an important game, especially for the Raiders.
Well, the Raiders have a chance to win that Western Division if they win their next 2 games. Now, the Seahawks and Denver play this evening, but no matter what, if the Raiders win, they have the division.
Making an appearance through the clouds. We did have some snow earlier today. They've cleaned the field 2 or 3 times, and right now it is completely clear of snow. Mike Shanahan making his first trip into Buffalo, the first-year coach of the Los Angeles Raiders. And Marv Levy, a veteran of this cold Buffalo weather, Marv Levy with the Buffalo Bills in his second full season. He has a record of 20-16 as the Bills head coach. Buffalo with a record of 11-3. The Raiders all even at 7-7. But despite the 500 record, still in the hunt in the AFC West. And there's Tim Brown, who will go deep. The Raiders have won the toss and will receive. Brown leads the NFL in kickoff returns. Scott Norwood set to kick it off for the Buffalo Bills, and this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. 8 degrees the temperature at Rich Stadium. The Buffalo Bills still hoping for the home field advantage throughout the playoffs against the Los Angeles Raiders, who are fighting to make the playoffs. The only way they can get in is to take the title in the AFC West. And despite the chilly temperatures, a pretty good crowd. They love their football here in Buffalo. Tim Brown with his hands in that muff that he wears to keep them warm. You see a lot of players wearing those today. You see the snow, which has been cleared off the field on the side, as Norwood is going to get an assist there from Davis, who will hold the football for the kickoff. The wind doesn't appear to be too strong, but Joe, when we were down on the field yesterday, it blows a little harder than you would think just looking at the indicators at the top of the stadium.
Especially up high, Tom, when the ball is up in the kicking game.
And that kickoff is a short one to about the 18-yard line, where Brown takes it and fights his way across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Scott Radisick down on special teams, making the tackle for the Buffalo Bills. Here's a look at that Raider offense now. And if this were a rock group, it'd be Jay and the Heisman. A lot of talent in that group.
I don't think they've been using James Lofton enough. If you'd have told me before the season that he wouldn't have scored a touchdown to this point, I would have said, well, he's in the wrong system. This guy can play. We need to get him the ball more often.
Wilkerson, the only member of that offensive line to have started every game for the Raiders this year. First down for Los Angeles. The handoff to Marcus Allen. Tries a sweep on the right side, and he gains about 4 yards to the 35-yard line. Let's take a look now at the Bills defense, one of the best. 2nd and 5 for the Raiders. The ball at their own 36-yard line. Steve Smith in motion, and the handoff straight up the middle. They try it to Marcus Allen once again, and he is stopped short of the first down by the center of the Buffalo defense.
Well, the Raiders are doing what they need to do. They want to get the ground game going, but they're concerned with number 78, Bruce Smith. Here you can see 2 men double teaming number 78. They want to keep him away from the tack. But this is the kind of situation the Raiders like, a 3rd and short. You see, the Bills don't know whether to play run right now or to rush for the pass, and the offense is at an advantage at this stage.
It is 3rd and 2. Steve Smith is the only setback behind Jay Schrader. He's got double wide receivers to the left, and now Tim Brown goes in motion. Schrader will attempt his first pass. Almost intercepted. It'll go incomplete off the hand of Darryl Talley, the Buffalo linebacker. Schrader rolling out on his first pass attempt. It didn't look so good.
Yeah, I don't know why you want to run a rollout in a 3rd and 2 situation like that if your intention is not to run the quarterback. I think the pass protection would have been good by rolling out. What Schrader has done in the offense, they've cut down the field they have to work with, and he's...
Jeff Gossett in punt formation for the Raiders. And Flip Johnson is deep for Buffalo. He lets it bounce. It takes a good Raider bounce, and Johnson picks it up. Backtracks. And finally will be stopped short of the 20-yard line. Johnson gave up yardage trying to get to the corner. Couldn't make it. Ron Brown cut him off and stopped him after a return of...
Wendell Hellestray is replacing the regular guard, Tim Vogler, so we'll have to watch and see how Hellestray does.
Thurman Thomas on the first carry for the Bills, stopped at the 23-yard line after he gained 3 or 4 yards on the Bills' first play from scrimmage. Lyndon King made the stop for the Raiders. Let's check that LA defense. Townsend was the hero of last week's win over Denver, taking an interception, 86 yards for a touchdown. It's a veteran linebacking core averaging over 10 years of experience. Millen, the team's leading tackler. And the secondary has been hit hard by injury. McElroy and Haynes tied for the interception lead. They have 3 apiece. 2nd and 5 for the Bills. Jamie Mueller. Mueller turns the corner, lowers his head, and pounds forward for a Bill first down. He's to the 35-yard line, a gain of 10, and the initial first down of the game. Mike Haynes had to come up to make a saving tackle on Jamie Mueller.
Well, Joe Devlin, the right tackle for the Bills, and the rest of his buddies got out to the right side. Watch how they seal off the right side of the defense of the Raiders. Here you see Matt Millen, number 53, being blocked by Wolfley, and Fellows just can't get up there quickly enough to make the tackle. Very good blocking by the Bills that time.
And there's Mueller, the second-year player out of Benedictine. His college playbook covered 6 pages. Gets the call again. It doesn't get much, maybe a yard to the 36.
The playbook covered 6 pages.
Had a 6-page playbook.
I didn't know Benedictine, and don't get angry at me. I didn't know they had that many games, even 6 of them. Here's Bill Pickell, number 71, fighting off the block of Kent Hull. Now, Hull has been the steadiest lineman so far this season, but Pickell makes a good play in fighting off Hull to make the stop.
And with Pickell on the tackle, it sets up a 2nd and 9 for Buffalo. Opening series for the Bills. Kelly's first pass. It's complete to the 50-yard line. Trumaine Johnson hauls it in. Then the ball comes loose, and they're going to say he was down. So no fumble. Van McElroy hit Trumaine Johnson after a 14-yard gain. The ball came loose, but it'll be ruled down by Dick Jorgensen and his officiating crew, and Jorgensen signals first down Buffalo.
Well, it's a good pass and a nice catch by Trumaine. He's right there, and he goes down before he fumbles. But what I think should alarm the Raiders is that Kelly had a definite passing situation, a 2nd and 9, and the Raiders couldn't get any pressure on Kelly at all. The Raiders must get back there to harass Kelly when he's trying to find a receiver.
You see that AFC leading completion percentage for Kelly. And there is Trumaine Johnson, who just caught his 32nd ball of the season. He's the 4th leading receiver on this team. Pitch it to Thomas, trying to pick his way forward, and is knocked back at the 50-yard line. No gain on the play as Lyndon King got outside and stopped Thomas for no gain.
Yeah, that was real good pursuit by these Raiders defenders there. Lyndon King swept over there, number 52. Now, Lyndon's been around. This whole veteran group of linebackers for the Raiders has played smartly this year. They just don't have the speed they had once when they were youngsters.
Yeah, King, 11 years out of Colorado State. 4th leading tackler on the team. It's 2nd and 10. 2nd and 9, actually, as they got just inside the 50 for Buffalo. Kelly, he's 2 for 2 today to Trumaine Johnson. Johnson with another first down catch, and the Bills into Raider territory. Ron Fellows made sure he went out of bounds, but it covered 11 yards.
Once again, excellent pass protection for Kelly to get the ball out there to 86, Trumaine Johnson. Now, the Raiders play a man coverage back there, and right now they've been running Trumaine Johnson on Ron Fellows. Fellows has an injured right ankle, but he's playing on it. I'm just wondering if the Bills know about that ankle and if they're testing it this early.
They certainly have gone right at him to Trumaine Johnson, who has made 2 receptions from 2 Kelly passes. On first down, it's Mueller. Mueller turns the corner. Caught and hauled down from behind by Greg Townsend. Mueller, we talked about his play at Benedictine. He was a 2-year NAIA All-American, Joe, the #1 scorer and rusher, gained over 4,000 yards his senior year.
Well, it doesn't help him right now with number 93, Greg Townsend. You can see Townsend takes on the block right now of Richard, number 51, and then he sprints to the outside to make the play. I mean, Mueller just didn't have any room to get around Townsend. It was a good defensive play.
He has more TDs than some of their wide receivers, does Townsend.
Yes, he does, more than often.
2nd and 8 for Buffalo. Kelly's pass incomplete, tipped at the last moment by Ron Fellows and intended for Chris Burkett. Well, we're down to the stretch run in the NFL regular season. Let's check some of the other. The penalty, which gives Buffalo a first down. There's the veteran Haynes, 9-time Pro Bowler out of Arizona State.
Well, Mike gets into trouble now and then because of the type technique he plays. These cornerbacks sometimes will bump that receiver at the line of scrimmage, and Haynes been one of the best cornerbacks in the league every year he's played. Got his hands up a little too high and trying to make that bump and got called for hitting the receiver in the face.
First down for Buffalo at the 31 of the Raiders. No score first quarter. Play action pass. And it's complete. Chris Burkett makes the catch at the Raider 20-yard line where Mike Haynes hauls him down. 11 yards and another Bill first down.
Well, Kelly certainly doesn't look conservative today, nor does this Bill offense. He's throwing at will. Right now, this offensive line is giving Jim Kelly all the time he wants. Look at him. He'll shop around. He's looking to his left, and he finally picks up Burkett crossing the middle. But you give a quarterback of Kelly's caliber that much time back there in the pocket, folks, and he's going to complete a lot of passes.
Burkett with his 22nd reception of the season. First down, Bills at the 20. Mueller tried to find a little seam, lowered his head, and plowed straight ahead. Lyndon King got him to the turf with help from Greg Townsend. Mueller's really been getting the call today.
He's a workhorse. He hasn't been getting many opportunities throughout the regular season. I think they've changed a couple of things today offensively, Tom. Coach Levy has gone to Mueller more often. They've thrown the ball more often early in this drive than they've been doing so in the past.
And they've looked good. They started inside their own 20, and now at the Raider 18 with a 2nd and 8. 10th play of the drive. Kelly under pressure that time, let it go. Had to get rid of it before he was sacked. Intended for Trumae Johnson, but Jerry Robinson applying the pressure from his linebacking spot.
This is what you need to do to get to a quarterback. Number 96 also, Malcolm Taylor, swings to the outside and gets some pressure back there on Kelly. Kelly wasn't ready to throw that ball, didn't want to throw it that early, but Malcolm Taylor, the 4th down lineman that the Raiders bring in, did his job that time.
Yeah, it was really Taylor that supplied the bulk of the pressure, 5 years out of Tennessee State. Harmon and Riddick are in now in the backfield for the Bills, replacing Thomas and Mueller. It's 3rd and 8. Shotgun formation. Kelly across the middle. It's complete. Flip Johnson to the 5. Ron Fellows got him out of bounds, but Flip Johnson on the crossing pattern, making only his 7th catch of the season. It's good for 14 yards, and the Bills have it 1st and goal.
Well, this is one of the toughest patterns for a defender to cover. Right away, you see Flip Johnson get inside of Mike Haynes. Now Haynes is in a foot race with him, and because of that angle and the position Haynes was put in coming off the line of scrimmage, he could never catch up with Flip. Fellows finally makes the tackle, but here you see he has a lot of running room. Haynes had to run around another player.
1st and goal for the Bills. The ball spotted at the 4-yard line. Carl Byram is in. 2 tight ends, Metzelars and Roll. Rob Riddick is also in the lineup, and this is Riddick. Stopped at the 1-yard line. Riddick has scored 10 rushing touchdowns this year. He's the man they like to go to in the goal line situation. Stacy Toran made the stop for the Raiders.
Well, Tampa Bay knew about this play last week. They tried to get Riddick over the top on a 4th down situation, and he went underneath instead and didn't make it. Riddick is the clutch man, and he's been the most versatile player in this Bill offense this season so far. He does a lot of good running and pass receiving.
13th play of the drive coming up. 2nd and goal from the 1. Riddick. Still no call.
Riddick carried.
He's going to be stopped short by Matt Millen, the tough inside linebacker of the Raiders.
Now the Bills' offensive line starting to question themselves. Can we get in? When are we going to get over this hump of making these short goal line situations, 1st down situations? They're not getting any drive at all. They get stuffed right there at the line of scrimmage by that Raider defensive front. They've got to be questioning themselves back in that Buffalo Bill huddle.
It'll be 3rd and goal. The ball inside the 1-yard line. The snow flurries begin here at Rich Stadium. There you see just how close the football is to the Raider end zone. Riddick again. And he's stopped once again. He thinks he scored, but the official says no.
Well, I tell you what, Tom, what do you think now? It's going to be 4th down. Would you kick the field goal this early, or would you try to get that thing in the end zone?
I think psychologically they need to try to score.
I agree with you. I think they've got to give this offensive line another chance to get it in the end zone. There, Riddick just runs into a stone wall. McElroy somehow finds his way into the middle of the pack to deliver a good lick on him. He's able to stop Riddick.
4th down. And they're going to go for it. The ball again inside the 1-yard line. final play of a long Bill drive, the 15th play. Riddick. Touchdown.
Well, the Bills needed that one, Tom. Boy, their morale was down. They've been knocking at that goal line. They haven't been able to make these short yardage situations. And here you see Riddick get airborne, and he's able to avoid Matt Millen 55, and Stacy Turan 30 hits him late. He's already in the end zone.
So it takes a while, but the Bills do punch it in. The drive covered, what, 15 plays. And now Scott Norwood is on to attempt the extra point after Riddick has scored his 11th rushing touchdown of the season. Here's Norwood out of the hold of punter John Kidd. And the kick is good. And it looked like Norwood might have been injured on the play. Scott Norwood went to the turf and is still down. Riddick got the ball across for the Buffalo Bills, who with a long drive take the early lead on the Raiders.
Okay.
What happened to Norwood? Anybody see?
Now he's up and he's walking around now, Tom. He appears to be all right.
Looked good that time, didn't they?
Yes, they did. I think they kind of fooled the Raiders a little bit, but they see that the one time they had 2nd and 9, they shouldn't have fooled the Raiders. They should have been expecting pass. They didn't get back there and put any pressure on them at all.
The game's first touchdown on the sideline after getting the ball into the end zone finally on 4th and goal. A 15-play drive that consumed over 6.5 minutes and covered 80 yards.
Yes, and Kelly was at his sharpest too. Sure, he had a couple of incompletions there, but one time it was caused because of a good Raider rush, and the other one was a good defensive play by Ron Fellows. So the Bill offense got off to a good start.
Scott Norwood, who was shaken up a little bit on the extra point attempt, is okay and is ready to kick it off for the Bills. Jim Kelly, who was directing a drive, and an impressive drive for the Bills. As you said, they mixed it up very well.
Yes, you see, the weather conditions are such that it's cold right now, and so the ball has a tendency to get slick, and it's slippery to handle sometimes. Kelly didn't have any problem at all. We'll see if Schrader has any problems. I doubt that he will, but the two guys that does concern me are Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson. Both of these guys have been warm weather players in their collegiate careers, and the cold weather does have a tendency to affect people that haven't played in it as often.
Kelly was 4 of 5 through the air on that first drive for 50 yards, and here's Norwood's kick to the always dangerous Tim Brown. Brown banged by his own man and then stopped by the Bills short of the 30. Kirby Jackson will get credit for the special teams tackle. So the Los Angeles Raiders, now on the short end of a 7-0 score, get the ball for the second time in the game. They'll begin from their own 35-yard line when we come back. 6:24 left in the first quarter.
Yes, please.
I might take another water.
That's the part I used to hate, Tom, right now, when you had to stand on the field and wait. You know, we know there's a good reason for it, but that seemed to be the worst as far as getting cold, just standing around out there.
That's what they need, okay? Okay. They're going to do the update without us throwing it? Okay.
Okay.
Can we hear the update? Bob, where Mike Shanahan and Marv Levy are attempting to stay warm on the sideline. I imagine Marv is a little warmer than Mike at the moment. After the Bills have taken a 7-0 lead. Raiders' second possession of the day. Bo Jackson's first carry doesn't amount to much. No gain. Bruce Smith right there to stop Bo Jackson.
Smith made a good play that time, fighting off the block. Cincinnati and Houston, of course, are still scoreless. But look at that Green Bay score. I mean, Minnesota's been playing the best ball in the league so far.
The Giants, we just heard the Bob Costas update, and Dallas on top of Washington in the first quarter by a field goal. Here at Rich Stadium, it's the Bills leading 7-0. We're in the first quarter, and the Raiders have it 2nd and 9. We gave Jackson a yard on that carry. Steve Smith in the backfield now as Schrader goes to another rollout pass. Way downfield and way out of bounds. I guess it was intended for Lofton. He was the closest to it, but the ball was about 5 yards out of bounds, not even close.
Well, you see what the Raiders are concerned with is the pass rush of the Bills. Bruce Smith, 78, Cornelius Bennett, 55. These guys are really fast, and Lofton's trying to get downfield in a one-on-one situation, but what Schrader's been doing is running away from Bruce Smith. Doesn't want to give him a chance to get back there in the pocket and tackle. In the meantime, it certainly hasn't looked very effective because no one has been open in the 2 rollouts that Schrader has tried to get a pass off to.
And speaking of sacks, you see the differential for the 2 teams. And certainly the Bills will be coming here on 3rd and 9, and Schrader in the shotgun. Time for Schrader, and the pass complete to a wide open Fernandez. He's to the Bills' 45-yard line. Mervin Fernandez, who is the 3rd leading receiver on this team but leads the NFL in average yards per catch at over 25, is right on his average with that one, a 25-yard gain, and the first Raider first down.
And this is the exciting thing about the Raiders right now, Tom. You see, Schrader is sharp. Coach Shanahan made a point to say he's been practicing well. His accuracy in his passing game has improved a great deal. With these wide receivers, man, they can make the big play anytime. They frighten the defense. They scare you with that kind of speed outside.
Marcus Allen off right tackle for 3 or 4 yards before Art Still gets credit for the tackle down at the bottom of the stack of blue jerseys. There's Still, number 72. The former Pro Bowler out of the University of Kentucky in his 11th year, coming over from the Chiefs in an off-season trade.
Well, Still, along with Leonard Smith, have really shored up this Buffalo defense. Still, of course, was the #1 draft choice years ago, and so was Smith. So now these guys have a bunch of #1s up front. That front 7 of the Bills, they've been playing awesome football this season.
2nd and 7 for the Raiders. Marcus Allen is the only setback. Chased, completes the pass to Allen. Allen's got a first down and out of bounds at about the 30-yard line of the Buffalo Bills. They set up a little screen. Leonard Smith and Ray Bentley had to come up to stop Marcus, who wades out of the snowdrift after picking up 11 yards.
Many feel that this man, Marcus Allen, is the best all-around back in the league. Not only as a blocker, a passer, a runner, everything. He gets the job done. Now the screen is set up nicely because Schrader hesitates a little bit. You'd like to see him slow down a little bit more to really make it look like a drop back. But with Bruce Smith coming down on you, buddy, you want to kind of fade away from him a little bit.
Talk about the versatility of Allen. That was the 365th pass reception of his career. Not only a fine runner, but receiver as well. Bo Jackson. Bo gets a couple inside the 30 to the 28 of the Bills. Art Still again on the tackle for Buffalo. Still was an all-SEC player at the University of Kentucky. Pretty good basketball player in his high school days. In fact, his sister Valerie went to the University of Kentucky, played on the women's team, and is the all-time leading scorer in University of Kentucky basketball, men or women.
His sister did that?
Yeah, Valerie. You like these stories, Joe?
I do. My sister, I had a sister Rita, still do. She was the best athlete on the block.
I'm going to make a tape of these. It'll be for sale later. 2nd and 8 for the Raiders. Tim Brown in motion. Schrader goes for the end zone. Intercepted. Mark Kelso intercepts for the 8th time this season. Lofton was the intended receiver, and Kelso playing center field in that safety spot, got over there to pick it off.
Kelso covered a lot of ground that time to get over there. Shanahan thinks the ball's out of bounds. Let's take a look and see if, in fact, Kelso comes down with both feet in bounds. Does he hit 1 foot in bounds? He's out of bounds, folks. I don't think that's an interception, Tom.
There's also a penalty marker on the play.
Defense, 5 yards, first down.
Wayne Davis guilty of the defensive holding, so the Raiders really get a break there instead of an interception. They will have a first down. There's Davis, who got the start today for the injured Derek Burrows, and he's guilty of a costly penalty.
Well, if we get a chance sometime, I'd like to see that replay again, because I really don't think the officials would have given that interception to Kelso. He had 1 foot in bounds, the rest of them hit out of bounds, but because of the holding penalty, it doesn't make any difference at all now.
You saw the little hold up there as Tim Brown helped Marcus Allen fasten his chin strap. Allen plays with a little small cast on his left hand, and it's hard for him to fasten his chin strap. There he gets the call, and Leonard Smith wrestles him down. Marcus was trying to spin away from the initial charge of the defense, and Leonard Smith was there to tackle him. Smith has 60 tackles on the season from a strong safety spot.
Well, number 46, you'll see him come up quickly to make the play about a yard deep. Here he contains on the outside and just makes a good tackle. Now, I mean, that's called wrapping up the ball carrier.
Here's the play you wanted to see again.
Right. Now, you watch Kelso come down with the ball. 1 foot will hit in bounds, and the rest of his body's going to hit out of bounds. Now, he has to have 2 feet in bounds, or, see, he's out of bounds, so that wouldn't have been an interception.
Schrader will put it up again across the middle and complete out of the backfield to Steve Smith. Smith is stopped at the 17-yard line of the Bills by Ray Bentley.
Steve Smith made some catch that time. Now they're still scoreless down there at Houston, Tom, and Green Bay still has that lead.
No change in those scores.
A little surprised at Dallas beating Washington in the first quarter.
Been a rough year for the Cowboys. Here in Buffalo, 7-0 Bills, but the Raiders on the move. They have a crucial play coming up for this drive. They're 3rd and 4 from the Bills' 17-yard line. Allen, the only setback behind Jay Schrader. And he gets the call. Allen's got a first down inside the 10 to the 4-yard line, where Mark Kelso hangs on to trip him up.
It didn't look like much. Marcus Allen is so fluid, but he was able to put down a move or two to elude the linebacker and break free. A huge hole opened up by the offensive line. Obviously, Buffalo's playing pass defense. Now you'll see right behind Bill Lewis, the center, Allen cuts up the middle, then puts a nice move down on Leonard Smith and makes a good gainer. Nice tackle by Kelso to save the touchdown.
13 yards and a Raider first down on the carry by Marcus Allen. And it's 1st and goal for Los Angeles at the 3-yard line of the Bills. Schrader, incomplete, intended for Smith. There's a penalty marker down.
I saw Jay Schrader pointing right away. I think Smith might have been held just as he was trying to get into the end zone to catch the pass.
That's the call. Well, the Bills had a long drive of 80 yards to score. This drive of the Raiders began on the Los Angeles 35, and they're knocking on the door of the goal line.
So that was a pretty good call on first down from the 4. They went right away.
Number 55, defense, half the distance to the goal line, first down.
Cornelius Bennett on the hold.
I like the call by the Raiders on first down with that play-action pass. I believe that's the thing that fooled Bennett and forced him to try and grab a hold of Steve Smith as he was coming out of the backfield.
So it's 1st and goal now for the Raiders. Bo Jackson and Steve Smith in the backfield. Smith. Schrader signals touchdown, but the officials do not. They're being stingy on those calls today.
Yeah, I think the only signal that counts is what the official in the striped shirt gives one. I couldn't tell really how close Smith was. Maybe we'll all get a good look at it, folks, right here. Here you see Smith trying to fight through the center of that line. Now let's see if he crosses that plane. No, he's just short of it. Good call.
The ball did not cross. That was the controversy last week. Rob Riddick thought he was denied a touchdown when he crossed the goal line, but the ball hadn't crossed. That's what has to break the plane. See that the Bills have been stingy on defense. Right there, the give straight ahead, and Smith has the Raider touchdown. No doubt about that one as Smith plowed into the end zone, and the Raiders are an extra point away from tying the game.
Steve Smith just powers his way into the end zone. You'll see the defenders from Buffalo go high into the air. They're expecting Smith to go over top, but he goes right underneath him and just powers his way right behind his huge blockers.
3rd rushing touchdown of the season for Steve Smith, 2 years out of Penn State. Mike Shanahan and company hoping to tie the game as Chris Barr is on to attempt the extra point. And Barr drills it through. So the Raiders answer with an impressive drive of their own to tie the game, 7-7.
Chris Barr's point after is good. Score is 7.
We're going to go to commercial right after the kickoff.
Okay. Good game.
Yes, sir. Okay, can you run that back a second? Okay, I see. Never mind. Ray Bentley, 50, was the one that went over top.
Okay. What, the commercials or the oh. I don't like that. Joe wanted a fast game. We'll let him fill.
Can we do it from the car? You want me to take this?
Okay.
10 seconds. Stand by.
Steve Smith takes the handoff and goes behind his huge offensive line led by Steve Wright. You see 58 and 50. The linebackers, Conlon and Bentley, get in there, but Smith goes under him for the touchdown.
And here's the kick by Chris Barr, taken by Ronnie Harmon, one of the up men, and Harmon with a pretty good return. Still fighting for yardage across the 40, still going. They can't get him down. That entire pile of about 10 players was just moving along. I don't know who got the tackle. Nobody, really. Well, Buffalo in good shape when we come back. Not supposed to be able to aid the runner.
You could call this power running, real power running. Look at him. He's still driving those legs, keeping his balance.
I don't know that he's not being pulled along there by one of his teammates, which I don't think is legal, but it goes in the books as a 37-yard return, and Buffalo with a first down just across the 50. Kelly sacked. The ball's loose. Still loose. And out of bounds. It'll belong again to Buffalo. Will Wolford was over there to hop on the football after Kelly coughed it up. Russell Carter was the man that got onto Kelly to knock the ball free.
And Malcolm Taylor is the guy that Coach Shanahan's thinking about right now. Why didn't Malcolm get this ball? He has a golden opportunity to either fall on it or pick it up. You see it's a loose ball now. Carter makes a good hit. There. Well, Malcolm just can't get the handle on the ball, and it gets out of bounds before Wolfley recovers it.
That's the end of the first quarter in a 7-7 game.
Yes.
Yeah, he was getting a lot of coverage, not all of it good.
He's 1 for 1. He could have been a hero that time, Kenny. Boy, his golden opportunity. There goes Malcolm.
Oh, Mike Rozier, 13 yards.
I had it. Darn it. I just don't know why that ball bounced that way. I mean, I thought it was easy to pick up.
Tom Hammond and Joe Namath at a chilly Rich Stadium where Marcus Allen tries to warm his hands on the sideline. He's one of those guys not used to the cold weather, you pointed out. Second down and 17 for Buffalo after that fumble by Kelly as we start the second quarter. Kelly dumps it off to Thomas. Thomas gets to midfield and out of bounds in Raider territory to the 48-yard line. Stacy Torn over there to make sure he went out of bounds. As you look at Mike Wise, who was back pressuring Jim Kelly.
Oh, this is a good play. You see 57 Jerry Robinson doesn't quite get his hands on the ball, and Kelly gets a little shove in the back, which really doesn't hurt. It's just an inconvenience having to get up off the ground as opposed to having been standing, you know, to go back to the huddle, Tom.
Well, Houston strikes first on a Mike Rozier 13-yard run, and that brought a cheer from the crowd here at Rich Stadium. They need the Bengals to lose and the Bills to win to be assured of a home field advantage all the way through the playoffs. The Bills currently locked in a tie with the Raiders as we begin the second quarter of action. Kelly's pass to a wide open Cliff Johnson, and Johnson makes the catch and the carry to the 35-yard line, and the Bills have a first down. Second first down catch of the day for Johnson. That one went for 11 before Lionel Washington got him down.
Well, that's the thing. Here we go. Will you marry me? Love Kev. What'd you say, Tom? She stayed home today?
Yeah, well, she must love him if she came out in this kind of weather. We began the game with a minus 14 on the wind chill index. Doesn't seem to be bothering either team, though, thus far. First down carry by Thurman Thomas. Thomas got one man to beat. Touchdown.
Well, I guess that Cincinnati score, Cincinnati being on the short end, might have inspired this team. 73 Wolfley and number 51 Richard does a job right here. Look how Richard gets right into the chest of Mike Wise to push him out of the way. Oh boy, Thomas with a big hole in there now, and of course Mike Haynes was playing man coverage. He couldn't get over there to make the play. Terrific offensive blocking that time, especially by Richard, the guard of the Bills.
So Thurman Thomas picking up the touchdown, only his second rushing touchdown of the season, even though he is the leading rusher for this Bill club. Norwood's extra point is through the uprights, and the Bills strike very quickly. Thurman Thomas, the rookie out of Oklahoma State, who kept Barry Sanders on the bench last year, shows you why with this run, and great blocking up front by the Bills offensive line. Buffalo leads it 14-7. Thurman Thomas with a 37-yard touchdown run, the longest run for a Buffalo running back since 1986, when Greg Bell took one longer. And Thomas has put the Bills on top as Scott Norwood is set to kick it off, and Tim Brown is deep for the Raiders. Norwood's kick is a short one, taken by one of the up men. It's taken by Adams, and Adams is out of bounds in pretty good field position. Let's watch that touchdown. 9 years out of North Carolina State. First down play for the Raiders. Schrader looking for yardage to Brown. He's got it at the 40 to the 30 and out of bounds. Tim Brown, the leading Raiders receiver in his rookie year, makes the reception. Mark Kelso chases him out of bounds, but a big gainer for Schrader. It goes for 35 yards.
This is the kind of attack Al Davis and Coach Shanahan were looking forward to whenever they got Jay Schrader. He's capable of making the big plays, and with the wide receivers Tim Brown, Fernandez, Lofton, Galt, these guys are liable to explode anytime. They haven't done it much this season, so everyone is waiting for them to put one game together. This looks like it could be it.
Like a ticking time bomb, and that's Raider football. That's what we expect from the Raiders throughout their history. Under Al Davis, they have been an explosive team. Here's Bo Jackson. Jackson up the middle to the 25. Bruce Smith stops him there. Marv Levy said yesterday they couldn't allow Bo to get outside, and thus far today they have not allowed him to get outside. That play, of course, right up the middle.
We'll look at the Tim Brown catch once again. The key is having so much time back there in the pocket. Schrader finds Brown, neatly drops the ball over the linebacker, Bentley number 50, and Brown does the rest. Just a fine pass and catch and run with the ball. Good blocking up front by that line.
There's Tim Brown, who is past the 40 mark in receptions in his rookie season. Schrader again under pressure, the ball on the ground, and the Bills have it. Art Still makes the fumble recovery for Buffalo after Bruce Smith knocked it free of Schrader.
Well, this is what the Raiders are worried about, the pressure by the Bills defense. And right now, Schrader's just getting set, but Smith is able to get that ball loose from his hands, and we see Smerlis diving on the ball for the recovery.
A big play by the Buffalo defense.
Last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Bills defense couldn't force any turnovers, and this is what Coach Levy wanted his Bills to do. The ball's loose to number 72. Art Still falls on the ball.
And Buffalo has it, first down at its own 32-yard line, leading the Raiders 14-7. Kelly scrambling and still has time, buys some time, and lost it way downfield and out of bounds where the catch was made by Chris Burkett. It'll be incomplete. He was out of bounds. Let's take a look at the ticker now, and we'll update that Cincinnati-Houston game for you. So important for the Bills as they fight for the home field advantage, and the Oilers still on top by a touchdown and extra point in the House of Pain, the Astrodome. Still surprising to see Green Bay leading Minnesota. A Low Miller field goal has tied it up for the Redskins. And here at Rich Stadium, 14-7 Buffalo with 12:53 left in the second quarter. Thomas, another good hole for Thomas as he pounds across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
Well, Thomas has seen better holes to run through in the past. I mean, that was pretty good defense by the Raiders that time, holding him to only a couple-yard gain. And now they have Buffalo in what appears to be a passing situation. And Thomas appears to be injured a little bit, Tom, the way he's carrying his right arm in his right hand. And there's Malcolm Taylor, an injured Raider defensive lineman on the field. Here you see Taylor, number 76. He's trying to get in the action right now. And I don't know how, or number 96, excuse me, he makes the play actually, and I don't know whether he got kicked in the head or not, but folks, we have a mighty good game going on right here. We'll be back. Malcolm's not cold. Look, short sleeves. Yeah, but putting on that coat, though. Picow, Townsend, Wise. And Davis are in. They have 4 linemen in. McElroy. They also have Washington in right now. And Anderson. Okay.
Will Walford.
20 seconds,
Yeah.
stand by.
Levy's team hoping to break out of that slump that has seen them lose 2 in a row and off to a good start with a 14-7 lead on the Raiders. 3rd and 6 here for Buffalo. Malcolm Taylor left the field under his own power, apparently not seriously injured. That ball tipped off the hand of Kelly, intended for Ronnie Harmon. Eddie Anderson was covering on the play. It'll go incomplete. Kelly now has hit on 6 of 9 passing attempts for 69 yards.
Now that's 2 plays in a row. The defense of the Raiders took away what Kelly wanted to do. The last play they took away, well, the last passing play, they took away the pass to the right, and here the ball gets tipped from the outside.
I think it was 6'7" Mike Wise that got a hand on it.
Well, 6'7", I can understand how he could get up there.
John Kidd on for his first punt of the day. Kidd is averaging right at 40 yards a kick. Tim Brown is deep for the Raiders, and Brown will take it at the 34-yard line. Takes it back up to the 39, a 5-yard return before Keith McKellar makes the tackle for the Bills.
Well, the Raiders right now can't feel too badly about the way their offense has been moving. Jay Schrader's looked pretty sharp so far. You'd expect the defensive end, Bruce Smith, to make a big play now and then, and he certainly has. He's the one that knocked the ball loose from Schrader's hands in the last series. So let's see if the Raiders can get back on track. They've been moving the ball nicely on the offense.
Kidd's punt only covered 31 yards, and Brown with a 6-yard return. Raiders with decent field position at their own 39. Jackson plowing straight ahead across the 40. Got about 3 yards on the play. They've been running Bo Jackson just between the tackles today, not trying to get him outside in this game plan for Mike Shanahan.
That does surprise me. I mean, it's well documented that the better runner inside is Marcus Allen, but Steve Smith and Marcus have been changing a bit. Now it could be a passing situation, so they bring Marcus Allen in because he is a better receiver than Bo Jackson. But I thought sure the Raiders would be trying to get Jackson to the outside of the defense, not up the middle.
2nd and 7. Another cheer from the crowd as Houston has gone up 14-0 on Cincinnati. A Mike Rozier 15-yard run. Marcus Allen on the carry there takes it to the 45-yard line. Let's check in with Bob Costas for an update. All right, Bob. Mike Rozier rising to the occasion, and things going Buffalo's way. They lead, and the Houston Oilers in front of Cincinnati by a couple of touchdowns. Schrader lost the ball, and the Bills have it again. Smurless picks it up. He's going to try to run with it a little ways, and he's finally down at the 40 as Bill Lewis, the center, covers him at that point. What happened, Joe? The ball just seemed to come loose from Jay Schrader's grip.
Well, what the Raiders did is they spread everyone out, and Jay Schrader tried to run a draw play, and he just gets hit in there by 72 yards still, and now Smurless recovers the fumble.
2nd turnover today for the Raiders. Schrader has fumbled it twice, and the Bills have recovered in each instance. And Fred Smurless, the veteran nose tackle in his 10th year out of Boston College, makes the reception.
Well, there are those turnovers that Coach Levy's been asking for. His defense has produced 2 of them now.
And there's the Bills hoping for that home field advantage, leading here and hoping for the Bengals to lose. If they win their final 2 and the Bengals lose 1, the Bills will be at home for all the playoffs. Thomas with some great running to the 26-yard line. He was just shaking off tacklers. Finally, Russell Carter hauled him down, but a 14-yard gain for the rookie.
Some pretty good stepping by Thomas, or you could say some bad tackling by number 57, Robinson, who'll get his hands on Thomas, but Thomas was able to elude him. Right there, he couldn't wrap him up, and then Mike Haynes can't get all of them. I just think that's good running. He didn't let those guys get a good shot on him. Here's another look at it. You see, he's just picking those legs up, and Haynes didn't really get a good shot on him.
First down for Buffalo at the 26-yard line of the Raiders. Thurman Thomas once again, and another good run inside the 20 down to the Raider 18-yard line. He picked up 7 or 8 yards before Van McElroy, the free safety, had to come up to make the tackle.
I can't help but wonder what this Raider defense would be like if Howie Long were playing. He does so many things for the front of the Raiders. He's able to move around and play in different positions, and the Raiders, I guess he's the one player that they've missed the most so far, especially on the defense.
6 rushes, 71 yards for Thomas, who is bidding to equal Rozier's first half down at the Astrodome. He'll get another chance, and he pounds it to the 15. Bill Pickell, the nose tackle, 6 years out of Rutgers, former second-round draft choice, makes the tackle for Los Angeles.
Tell you, the Raiders are going to have to do something here right now. It looks like these Bills are taking control of the line of scrimmage, Tom. The Raiders are going to have to come up with a good defensive stand to stay in this thing.
The Bills have picked up a first down, and let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. Tom Hammond and Joe Namath, Kenneth Roy Edmondson, our producer, John DeLisa, our director. Buffalo leading the Raiders 14-7 with 8 minutes, 56 seconds left in the second quarter. And Buffalo driving with a first down at the Raider 15. Thomas to the 12. He got 3. Malcolm Taylor, who was shaken up a few moments ago, back on the field to make the tackle. All right, here are the scores again now. The Oilers still leading the Bengals 14-0. Detroit and Chicago tied up, and Green Bay still leading Minnesota. Some surprising scores from the NFC Central. No change in those affairs. And here 14-7, but the Bills threatening after recovering a Jay Schrader fumble. Kelly with plenty of time for the end zone. Burkett batted away at the last minute by Mike Haynes. Good defense that time by the veteran Haynes, as Kelly sent it downfield for Burkett.
Yeah, but Kelly was on target again. Mike Haynes made a good play getting his hand in there. On the left side of your screen, right in the middle now, is Burkett, number 85, and he's breaking behind Haynes, but watch Mike get his hands up there. Gets his left hand up there just in time to knock it away. A well-thrown ball by Kelly.
There's Mike Haynes in his 13th year out of Arizona State. Been 9 times to the Pro Bowl. Played with the Patriots for 7 years. Kelly hitting right on his average, 60% today. Big play here. Drills it. Burkett can't hold on. Got one hand on it and then took a shot from Van McElroy. And it's incomplete, setting up a 4th down. McElroy really leveled Chris Burkett.
Well, let's see what the lineman did up front. First of all, Greg Townsend, number 93, trying to get in there and get some middle pressure on him, but he's double teamed to the ground. And watch this hit by number 26, Van McElroy, right here. Oh my goodness gracious, that has to hurt.
He planted his hat right in the breastbone of Chris Burkett. Here's Scott Norwood to try the field goal. It'll be a 30-yard attempt. Norwood has hit 29 of 34 field goals this season. 49 has been his longest. He's the number 1 field goal kicker in the AFC. And that one is good as Norwood gives a little victory hop. His 30-yard field goal has increased the Buffalo lead. 7 minutes, 59 seconds left in the first half. Now it's Buffalo 17, the Raiders 7. After Buffalo takes advantage of the turnover, the fumble by Jay Schrader.
right now, I think the Raiders have been moving the ball decently, but the turnovers have been the thing that have hurt the Raiders offensively. The big play by Bruce Smith knocking the ball loose, and then Jay Schrader dropping the ball on the draw play. This is a very important drive for them. They need to get some points on the board because the way this Bill offensive team is playing right now, hey, I expect them to come back down the field.
Let's take a look at the muffs that some of the players are wearing today. This is the Raider model that the players wear. It's attached by Velcro, so if somebody tugs on it, it just comes free. There's a package you put in here that warms it, and those things work pretty well. They make a model for the fans, too, that's not quite the same. Got a zippered pocket in here or something. The Bills and the Raiders both using these today. So that is something you could have used back in your playing days, huh?
Actually, our equipment manager was the first one, Bill Hampton with the Jets, to have a pocket sewn onto the jersey so the quarterback could put his hands inside his jersey. Now the receivers have done that, and of course people have been smart over the years. They've made these lightweight muffs that the quarterbacks and people that use their hands a lot can keep them warm with.
And they're cheaper to do these than to have several sets of jerseys with pockets in them and so on. A pocket jersey and a not pocket jersey. So the muffs have come in handy, and a lot of the fans wearing them here at Rich Stadium today too.
Hey, wait a minute,
Tim Brown,
Tom.
see that?
Yeah, but I want to tell you something. Football teams, they spend a lot of money, but they don't spend it on extra sets of jerseys. I mean, you usually have 1 or 2 jerseys for the whole season.
Here's the kick. Tim Brown fields it, and Brown with some good running across the 30 to the 32-yard line where the Raiders will have it.
Shot made by Steve Thatcher.
Well, the Raiders have had good field position so far. It's just been their inability to hold on to the ball on 2 key series. Bills were able to put a field goal up on the board on 1, but the Raiders just need to go back to that passing attack on the early downs, I think, and go to the air more often. I think they can throw the ball on this Bill team.
2 victories will give them the AFC West title and put them in the playoffs. Schrader on first down. Screen pass to Allen. Gets a block. Cuts back. Stopped at the 39-yard line. Got about 7 yards on the screen pass. Ray Bentley and Scott Radisick combining for the tackle for Buffalo.
I'd wear out those screen passes to Marcus Allen. You get Allen out there one-on-one with a linebacker or a defensive back. Marcus Allen's going to win that battle most of the time. He's going to get you positive yardage. Now with the 2nd and short, they bring Steve Smith into the game for Allen. Of course, Smith is a strong blocker. But hey, I think I'd have to leave Marcus in the game more often, man. He does so many things good.
And for the Bills, Scott Radisick is in at inside linebacker, replacing Shane Conlon. Here's Bo Jackson barreling forward for a Raider first down. Now back to NFL Live. Bob Costas with an update. Bob, thanks. And here at Rich Stadium, 17-7, 10-point Bills lead. Clock ticking at the 6:30 mark of the second quarter. Raider first down after the run by Jackson. Smith tackled for a gain of only 1 on the play as Ray Bentley, who had over 100 tackles coming into the game, got penetration into the backfield and tripped him up.
Ray Bentley, a free agent from Central Michigan, folks. He doesn't have a lot of speed. This is his big rap, but the guy is smart and he's tough. Coach Levy says he knows what's coming. He just has a little bit of a problem with his speed, but how much problem could he have? He's leading the team in tackles.
Well, prior to this season, he was known mostly for his writing. He writes children's books. He has a series of books about Darby the dinosaur. But this year, making quite a name for himself at an inside linebacker spot as the Bills' leading tackler. Across the middle and incomplete. Smith batted it around a couple times and couldn't haul it in. It was Darryl Talley hanging on to him. There's Talley, number 56, who is defending for Buffalo. What a reminder that we will be selecting a Budweiser Most Valuable Player in today's game. That'll come up at the end of the contest.
Well, Schrader puts the ball in the perfect spot for Smith to handle, and he just misses the catch. And you folks at home know those are the kind of plays you're just expected to make as a professional football player. That was an easy catch, easy opportunity for Smith.
Schrader 5 of 8 in the first half for 85 yards. Both quarterbacks have played well except for Schrader's 2 fumbles. That pass batted incomplete. Smurless or Still, I think it was Still, another defensive lineman that goes 6'7" that got the big paw up there to bat the ball away.
Well, things are going the Bills' way. I mean, they're making the big plays defensively. When Schrader has an open man, they drop the ball, and here you see Steele get that big paw up there and take it away from Bo Jackson, the intended receiver.
Flip Johnson is set to receive Jeff Gossett's punt. The first one covered 38 yards. And there is Johnson. And it'll be down by the Raiders inside the 10-yard line of the Bills. Stephon Adams got down there and made the catch on the punt. And it'll be marked at the 8-yard line. Great coverage by Adams of the Raiders after a 47-yard Gossett punt. An update on the scores. The Vikings get a field goal. No change there.
That was a fine play by Adams that time, getting down there and catching the ball while it was in the air. We know it's allowed, it's permissible under the rules, but we just don't see it that often. You don't have guys run that fast or punch that high. Terrific play by Adams.
Adams, 3 years out of East Carolina, plays mostly on special teams. There's a first down give to Jamie Mueller of the Bills. Goes for short yardage across the 10, maybe to the 11. The front 3 of the Raiders, Wise, Pickell, and Townsend, all getting a hand on the tackle.
Well, they better get a few more hands on the tackle, because the way they've been stopping this Buffalo Bill offense, they're going to have 40 points scored on them. They haven't been able to stop the Bills yet, just the one time that they were forced to punt, and the Bills have been doing about what they want. Kelly's been having time, and the running game's been producing.
Scott Davis comes in at a down line spot. 4 linemen in the game. Thomas on the pitch. Still some good running. Tough to bring down. He's to the 20-yard line, and he's got a Bill first down. Mike Haynes was finally able to tackle Thurman Thomas. He's been impressive today.
He has. He's been getting a lot of help from his friends, though. I'll tell you, Pete Metzelaars, the tight end, did a good job. On the right side of your screen, you may be able to see Metzelaars fighting Rod Martin. Here you see the missed tackles again. I mean, the coaches have got to be going nuts with these Raiders right now, the defensive coaches for the Raiders, because they're in position to make the play. They're just not getting their arms around the ball carrier.
86 first half yards on 9 carries for Thurman Thomas, who's averaging almost 10 a carry. See the clock ticking down to the 4-minute mark. 17-7 Bills. Thurman Thomas, another good run. Taken down short of the 30-yard line by Rod Martin.
Yeah, Martin made the stop, but it was late. You see Jamie Mueller, the big fullback for the Buffalo Bills, did a good job of getting in front of Martin. Martin was able to make the play, but not before there was a good gain by Thomas.
7-yard run that time by Thurman Thomas. It's 2nd and 3 for the Buffalo Bills. 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half. The Bills out rushing the Raiders by a considerable margin. Thomas again, nothing there this time. He's wrestled to the turf by Big Scott Davis, the rookie out of Illinois, 6'7", 270 pounds, a Raider first-round draft choice.
Oh, that was a big play by Davis. I mean, they had the Bills were in 2nd and short, and now Davis has put them back into a long yardage situation. Here you see Davis playing off the block of Wolford and just throwing Thomas to the ground. Will Wolford couldn't handle Davis that time.
Ronnie Harmon and Rob Riddick replacing Jamie Mueller and Thurman Thomas in the Bills' backfield. And the Raiders come with their nickel defense, 5 defensive backs. Ticking down toward the 2-minute warning. Jermaine Johnson in motion. Kelly's pass for Johnson. He's got it for a first down. Penalty marker on the play. Lionel Washington was beaten on the play by Trumaine Johnson, who had just enough for the first down. They're going to bring it back.
Well, they run so many patterns that have picks tied to them. Sometimes the offensive player will get in front of a defender to screen him off, and that's not always.
Number 80, offense, 10 yards, still 3rd down.
That's not always legal. That time James Lofton got called for the pick. Or excuse me, James Lofton. He's on the other team, isn't he?
Number 80, but it was the wrong 80. Flip Johnson for the Bills.
I've got Lofton on my mind. I keep saying the Raiders need to get Lofton the ball, but they don't do it. Meantime, Flip was called. I want to say Flip Wilson. Flip Johnson was called for the pick that time, not Flip Wilson.
All right, it's 3rd and 15. Instead of a first down for the Bills, they face a 3rd and 15 from their own 16-yard line. Kelly delivers another penalty marker down. The ball batted away by Haynes. Intended for Ronnie Harmon, and Haynes batted it free. And this, see the penalty flag, will be a hold against the Bills. So the Raiders will decline it, and the Bills will have to punt from their own end zone.
Number 70, offense, decline, 4th down.
Joe Devlin, the starting right tackle for the Bills, on the hold. 2nd-round draft choice in his 12th year out of Iowa.
Mike Haynes really made a nice play on the ball that time, Tom. It wasn't even his man that he covered. He fell off the coverage that he had and got back there in time to break up the pass.
John Kidd standing on about his 1-yard line after a poor punt the first effort. That's Tim Brown deep. Under pressure, Kidd gets it away. Not a very good kick. Tim Brown fields it at the 40, stumbles inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Great field position here for the Los Angeles Raiders. John Kidd on a 26-yard punt. The first one only covered 31. He's had his problems today.
Kidd's got some questions on his mind. Here he gets the punt off, and it appears he falls down. I don't know whether it's caused by a hit or not. I didn't see anybody hit him. That's a pretty good acting. If in fact he wasn't hit and he was acting like he was hit, that should be a penalty on the offense. That is in the rule book.
I think the wind of that guy going by knocked him down.
That's probably what it's sure.
First down for the Raiders. Jackson trying to get outside. Good running by Bo Jackson. Out of bounds. Short of the 30-yard line at about the 34. And Jackson that time did try to get outside, Joe.
Oh, he did a terrific job of running that time. I mean, he pushed off of Bruce Smith, and it was all speed and power getting outside. He turned a negative play into a positive play. That play wasn't going to go anywhere. It was going to be 2nd and 10, and now he made it into a 5-yard gain. The Raiders are in good shape.
Approaching today's game, Jackson had played 14 NFL contests and had gained over 1,000 yards. There's Bo Jackson, 2nd year out of Auburn, former Heisman Trophy winner. Marcus Allen, another Heisman winner, to the 30-yard line. It'll be about a yard short of a first down. Fred Smerlas got upfield to make the tackle as we come to the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning at Rich Stadium in Buffalo. We'll take a timeout here with the Bills leading the Raiders by 10. Buffalo 17, Los Angeles 7.
Did we get an official count as far as the attendance goes? Because this looks jammed up. I don't think many people stayed at home. Yeah, gee, this looks great.
They usually don't have them this early, I don't think, do they?
Numbers for what?
The ring down to Dave Cinco. Okay. Snow falling and a good crowd. Not many empty seats despite the weather, Joe. They needed 77,000 today to break the all-time NFL attendance record. And they're looking forward to playoffs here at Rich Stadium. I don't know if anybody else is, but the fans are. The Bills come across early. Were they drawn? We'll see. Dick Jorgensen will sort it out. It appeared Rory Graves, the right tackle of the Raiders.
False start, number 60, offense, still third down.
So Graves, the rookie out of Ohio State, guilty of the penalty, which sets the Raiders back 5 yards.
There he is, number 60 on the left side of your screen. Yep, he starts just a little bit early now. Boy, these kind of things just are destroying the Raiders. They want to win their division, but they're going to have to stop making mistakes and committing turnovers. They're just hurting themselves out there offensively, Tom.
They've fumbled the ball twice. The last Schrader fumble turned into a score for the Bills. There you see the penalties today. Shanahan signaling for a timeout. He didn't get it. Did they not like their formation or something they saw on the defense? Any way to tell?
I couldn't tell about the formation. I know the clock was going down to the 30-second clock, so we'll have a timeout. Yeah. They went from a 3rd and 1 to a 3rd and 6. Big difference.
20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Love it.
Well, it wouldn't be football in Buffalo if it weren't for a little snow adding to the atmosphere here. And I tell you what, the fans are about the most rabid I've seen, and they turn out no matter what. They were tailgating out there today in 8-degree weather.
I know. They were out in the parking lot playing ball, skating around. It was just a lot of fun. All the folks I know out in Southern California wondering what this is like. Hey, if you dress warm enough for it, folks, you can have a good time. They go up in the mountains out west and do the skiing, and here, well, they live with it for 4 months or so, and I guess it takes some getting used to, but it can be a lot of fun.
Dallas back on top of Washington.
That's what happens if you stay out a little bit too long in this kind of
weather. He had frostbite. 3rd down play for the Raiders. Schrader across the middle, completes it, and then it's fumbled or incomplete. We'll have to wait and see. Tim Brown had it, but did he have it long enough? Did he have control? I don't even know who has the football down in all that mess. Yeah, incomplete pass. I didn't think he really had control, so Jorgensen says incomplete, and it brings up a Raider 4th down.
Well, now that's again a drop pass has hurt the drive. It's hurt Schrader. I mean, he's right on target with this ball. Tim Brown is supposed to catch this thing. Sure, it slowed him up a little bit, but he's supposed to make that kind of catch. That catch, the one Steve Smith dropped, those kind of things hurt an offensive team.
Wayne Davis finally wound up with the football, I think, but it was an incomplete pass. And they're going to try a field goal, long field goal here. Barr is on. Chris Barr is going to attempt a field goal, and it's going to be 58 yards. He's got a little wind in his favor. 53 yards, or so. It's going to be 53-yard attempt, and it didn't make it. So from long range, Chris Barr comes up short on a 53-yard field goal attempt, and the ball goes over to Buffalo with 1:48 remaining in the first half, and Buffalo leading the Raiders 17-7. You see the missed field goal by Barr. Meantime, they've announced an update on the Cincinnati-Houston score here, and the crowd reacts wildly as Warren Moon has tossed a touchdown pass, and the Oilers leading the Bengals now 21-3. There may be a lot of football played here at Rich Stadium in the playoffs. Kelly will put it in the air. Pass deflected and incomplete. Couldn't see who batted it down. It might have been Wise, number 90. He knocked one back in Kelly's face earlier.
Yeah, now this is the time of the game that I'm not too sure this is the right thing for Buffalo to be doing, trying to get some more points on the board by throwing. As good as Buffalo's defense has been playing, and as poorly as the Raiders now have been dropping passes and making penalties, You don't want to make a mistake here offensively. The Bills don't.
Piquel knocked that last one away. Here's Kelly under pressure, falls down, but gets back up. The play's still alive, still scrambling, finally sacked. Sacked by Greg Townsend all the way back to the 26-yard line of the Bills. So Jim Kelly's last 6 passing attempts have been incomplete, and that one goes in the books as his 2nd sack of the day.
Well, at least he held on to the ball and didn't put it up in the air for grabs that time. The Raiders are getting some pretty good pressure back there, but Kelly's able to put off the sack for a little while. Now the Raiders have called timeout. There's a minute and 33 seconds left on the clock, and they have the Bills in a 3rd down and long situation, like 18 yards or so. So Townsend called timeout, and they're going to try and stop the Bills here. Maybe the Raiders can get another shot at a score.
Raiders have 1 timeout remaining. Mike Shanahan using his 2nd one there to stop the clock with a minute 33 seconds left. 3rd and 19 coming up for Kelly. That's the timeout situation.
Well, what you want to do if you're Buffalo, you don't want to make the turnover. You want to force the Raiders to use their last timeout. So I'd look for them to do something pretty safe here. Maybe a draw play or some kind of quick hitter up the middle. I wouldn't expect Kelly or the Bill offense to take a chance. Look at all that snow over there, huh?
A lot of spotted Santa in the stands there. And, of course, the Bills hoping for a gift, a Christmas gift. If the Oilers can defeat the Bengals today, they'll be back in the driver's seat for a home field advantage all the way through the playoffs. He's in the shotgun. And dumps it off, intended for Harmon, incomplete. He tried to do a little touch pass and didn't have anything on it at all.
Well, he tried to set the screen up to Harmon over there, but he threw a bad pass, and now they're going to have to punt to the Raiders, who should have good field position. Here you see Kelly looking downfield, but watch 33 Harmon. He'll slip over here now for the screen pass, and Kelly just sticks it in the ground.
7 in a row incomplete now from Jim Kelly. John Kidd will punt. It's been an adventure for him today. Last one was only 25 yards. There's Tim Brown looking to give the Raiders good field position again.
Now, that was a poor series of down offensively for the Bills. They're giving the Raiders a good opportunity here to get some momentum before halftime.
Kidd gets a better punt this time. Good high punt that Brown calls for a fair catch and takes it at the 35. So Kidd finally got off a good one after 2 subpar punts earlier. That one went for 38 yards. Jay Schrader warming his hands as he comes on for a final offensive try in this first half. 1 minute 20 seconds left. The Bills leading the Raiders 17-7. Shanahan's team has moved the ball, but some costly turnovers have kept them from getting more points.
Turnovers, also the dropped passes and the illegal procedure penalty, all these things add up to throw an offense out of sync. The Raiders, the players just aren't playing smart ball right now.
50% of his passes today for 85 yards. Schrader trying to set up a screen. It looked like a middle screen. Now he goes downfield. Fernandez was closest to it, but the ball went out of bounds. Was that a screen or not? He had receivers downfield too.
Yeah, he had receivers downfield, but no linemen. They were trying to set a screen up over to the right side, but the Buffalo defense would have none of it. They played it well. They didn't really put pressure on Schrader that time. They stayed at home for the draw or the screen. And what you'd have to say is the Bill defense outguessed the Raider offense that time.
Schrader now 5 of 11 in the passing stats for the first half. Stay with us at halftime. All the gang at NFL Live to give you the highlights of the early starting games thus far. Frank DeFord actually, I think, is here in Buffalo. He's going to get the key to the city for saying nice things about this town on NFL Live. Schrader's second down pass behind Marcus Allen and incomplete. Stops the clock with 1:07 left. Third down coming up for Los Angeles.
Well, the Raiders adjust a little out of sync. Schrader goes to the right receiver that time, Marcus Allen, but Marcus couldn't adjust. The ball was a little bit behind him, and Schrader, I think, has been putting the ball in the right places, and once again, had he not had to drop passes, would be seeing a different Raider offense, but they're hurting themselves with drop balls and penalties.
The two quarterbacks in this game got off to blazing starts, Jim Kelly and Jay Schrader. Now Kelly has thrown 7 straight incomplete, and Schrader has missed his last 6. Chased out of the pocket. Complete to Fernandez. Flag goes down. Fernandez might have been out of bounds and then come back in. Derek Burrows was in the game and defending for the Bills. Fernandez standing right next to the sideline. Did he go out first, Joe?
Yeah, I believe that's what they're going to call. He was mighty close to the sideline, and if he went out and came back in.
The ruling is incomplete pass, not out of bounds. 4th down.
Well, that's what the ruling is, folks. Fernandez didn't know where he was, and for a veteran like Fernandez, even though he's fairly fresh in the NFL, he's played enough ball to know. Look at him. His left foot is out of bounds. He's supposed to know where he is on the field. Another mental error that, well, these things are adding up to destroy the Raiders.
Gossett's punt. Flip Johnson calls for a fair catch, and then is hit. Flag down. Stephon Adams was down in a hurry, and though Johnson had called for the fair catch, Adams blasted him.
Well, you see what happened is Johnson called for the fair catch. He was 10 yards away from the ball, and then when he ran forward to make the catch, hey, Adams didn't know that he had singled for the fair catch. He must have missed a single.
Fair catch interference, number 44, kicking team, 15 yards, 1st down.
Well, as Al Davis is probably muttering to himself up here in the press box somewhere, the mistakes are killing us.
Oh yeah, you'll watch Flip Johnson run up on the ball. Watch, now here he comes. Now Adams was being blocked over there, you see, and that's the reason he couldn't see what happened. Dwight Drain, number 45, was occupying Adams, and Adams never saw the fair catch signal.
So will the Bills try to strike here with 52 seconds left. Nickel defense on for the Raiders. 1st down at the Raider 48. Ronnie Harmon taking the snap and going straight forward. Lyndon King made the stop. Here's our 10-minute ticker again. That's that Oilers score we told you about, 21-3 after a Warren Moon pass. Doug Flutie, who had not lost a game that he had started at Sullivan Stadium. No score in the 3rd quarter. Kelly's pass incomplete. Good defensive play by Rod Fellows, who knocked it away from Burkett at the last minute. Fellows in good position, knocked the ball away.
Oh, that's the 2nd time Fellows has been right on the spot. Sure, early in the game they completed 2 on him, but meantime he broke up a deep pass in the 1st quarter, and right here you can see the effort he gets in there and gets his hand on the ball. The ball was well thrown, but Fellows made a good recovery to close on it. His ankle doesn't appear to be injuring or hurting him much, Tom.
Looked good there, the 8-year veteran out of Missouri. 3rd and 6. Kelly across the middle, and it's complete inside the 30-yard line. The catch made by Trumaine Johnson with Lionel Washington all over him. It covers 16 yards, and the clock ticks away. Kelly stops the clock with a quick pass to the ground, which I'm sure all the fans realize now is legal. We've seen it on numerous occasions. Seems more to me this year than ever before.
Oh, it's legal, but it's
at the 29-yard line of the Raiders. Buffalo leading 17-7, 2nd quarter. Harmon. Good running by Ronnie Harmon. He's inside the 25, down to about the 23, where he's stopped by Bill Pickell. And Buffalo takes a timeout to stop the clock with 16 seconds left. And the ball spotted at about the 23-yard line. So it'd be about a 40-yard field goal for Norwood. See that he has had an excellent year. 30 field goals, which is just 5 short of the NFL single season record.
And it's important that the Bills get this as close as they can, because we do have a little wind coming from right to left on the field, and the farther away Norwood has to kick from if he is called upon to try the field goal.
Here's the Buffalo. The club record is 74 for career field goals. Kelly's going to try one more play. 16 seconds left. Hand it off to Riddick. Riddick as a first down, if that means anything. Finally wrestled out of bounds, and this will set up a chip shot now by Norwood. He's inside the 10.
That's what they needed to do. Now we have 10 seconds and the first down on the clock, folks. I think Buffalo should try at least one more try for the touchdown to get it in the end zone. They haven't used their last timeout yet. Even if they complete the ball short within 10 seconds, they should be able to call a timeout if need be. I'd go for the touchdown once again.
Marv Levy agrees. What kind of play would you call?
I'd call a pass play, something that I could hit my man around the 5-yard line or closer to the end zone. Any one of the 4 receivers or 5 receivers.
Kelly, following that script, goes for the end zone and tosses it over the head of everyone. Trumaine Johnson was closest to it. Kelly, not seeing anything, just threw it away. And Norwood will come on for the field goal attempt. Scott Norwood, in his college days at James Madison, once kicked a winning field goal in a football game, then went on to a soccer game and scored the winning goal.
Double duty guy, huh? Say, you know, the reason Kelly did throw that ball away in the last play, folks, is I want to point out Lionel Washington, the cornerback for the Raiders, was all over the receiver. In fact, he took the pattern away from the receiver that time. The receiver wanted to get to the corner, and Washington would have none of it. Excellent defensive coverage.
30-yard field goal attempt by Norwood. 5 seconds left. High snap. Kidd gets it down, and Norwood boots it through. Scott Norwood is 2 for 2 in the field goal department today, and the Buffalo Bills close the first half with a field goal, putting them up by a 27 mark. So the fans in the cold weather at Rich Stadium celebrating an excellent first half for the Buffalo Bills. They lead the Raiders 20-7. Now let's go to NFL Live. See from the numbers.
Well, the Bills are dominating every category, I guess, except yards passing, and that's been because of the turnovers of the Raiders. The Raiders looked all right for a while until they hurt themselves. Neither team has a lot of accuracy passing right now, but they've had some dropped balls. That turnover ratio right there, 2-0, well, that tells most of the story offensively.
How does the ball feel to a quarterback on a cold day like today? Is it harder than normal?
It is. It feels harder. It's cold. The ball is slick. Of course, I don't know that the ball changes so much, but your hands get cold. Even with those muffs that Jay Schrader has on right now, with the muff, you keep your hands reasonably warm, but that pigskin gets slick when it gets cold, and it's hard to throw. But hey, I haven't seen Schrader's accuracy suffering, or Kelly's. I think it's been some good defensive plays by the Raider defensive backfield to knock down a few of Kelly's passes, and of course the Raider receivers have been dropping the ball at a couple of few occasions.
Both quarterbacks had little mini slumps there at the end of the half. I think Kelly went 7 straight incompletions and Schrader 6. So after hot starts, they cooled off a little bit. But as you said, a lot of those were accounted for good defensive plays or simply dropped balls by the receivers. The sun making a little showing here on one side of Rich Stadium. The snowbanks along the sidelines are still there. We haven't had any real substantial snowfall since the game began. A couple of flurries, but the field has not been cleaned since before the game. They've got a sort of a brush contraption that comes off to clean the AstroTurf of snow, and you see that it has done its work earlier with the snow drifts on the sideline.
Well, they did clean the field a few times, but it has stopped snowing. The footing has been good, and the wind really hasn't been a major factor yet. Norwood's last field goal was a short attempt, so the wind didn't bother it. I haven't seen many long passes in the game yet to where the wind would affect them. So the weather is close to ideal with the exception of the temperature.
Close to ideal. You told me before, you said that the wind is the quarterback's biggest enemy, not the cold and not the rain.
That's right. The wind does tricks with the ball, both against the quarterback and as well as in the kicking game, too.
And we're ready for the second half kickoff, sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Flip Johnson across the 20 to the 22 on the kickoff return for the Buffalo Bills. And we're ready to start the second half. Andy Parker downfield made the tackle for the Raiders, and Buffalo with the first offensive opportunity to open the second half, leading the Raiders by a 20-7 count. The play selection was very good for most of the first half on part of Buffalo. They mixed the run and pass very well, I thought.
Yes, and I thought the Raiders did too. The Raiders didn't execute as well, but both offenses have opened up, throwing and mixing in the runs well.
First down run by Jamie Mueller. Not much there. Mueller twists forward, got a couple. Matt Millen, a former Penn State linebacker, gets credit for the tackle. The All-Pro back in 1985 and All-American from Penn State. A lot of talented Penn State linebackers on the field today.
Oh, you know, Millen doesn't mind playing in this kind of weather. He played there in Penn State up there at the College Park, and I guess he kind of likes it a little bit. He's mean enough not to feel the cold weather.
Thomas stopped short of the 30-yard line and short of a first down. It's going to set up about 3rd and 5 or so for the Bills. He's closing in on 100 yards, and we're just in the opening minutes of the 3rd quarter. That's Russell Carter injured on the play. Well, while they tend to Carter, it gives us a chance to take a break. 14:02 left in the 3rd, and Buffalo on top. And a cast of thousands here at Rich Stadium braving the elements as we have 14:02 left in the 3rd quarter. Buffalo leading 20-7 and facing a 3rd and 3. Stacy Torren has replaced the injured Russell Carter in the secondary for the Raiders. Kelly in the teeth of the blitz sends it intended for Harmon incomplete. Jerry Robinson coming on the blitz for the Raiders was in Jim Kelly's face.
And Eddie Anderson was in good position to coverage, but it was Robinson, number 57. Here you see on the screen, forcing Kelly to get this ball off just a little bit earlier than he'd like.
So a good defensive stand by the Raiders on the opening series of the 3rd quarter. And John Kidd is on to punt for the Buffalo Bills. Kelly perhaps banged his throwing arm a little bit there as he went down. Kidd with a punt. Sends it toward Tim Brown. Brown fumbles it. Still loose. The Bills have it. Sherman Cockcroft makes the recovery, and another turnover for the Raiders. Their 3rd of the day.
Well, folks, it's not a hard ball to handle. It's right there. And Tim Brown has caught many of these tight punts in this kind of weather up at Notre Dame. He just misplayed it, and then he couldn't get back on it to recover it. You won't see Tim Brown mishandling many punts.
Cockcroft with the recovery. There he is.
I'll tell you what, if the Raiders don't start playing better, you won't see many more of the games this season either.
First down for the Buffalo Bills from the 11. Thomas picks his way to the 5 to the 4-yard line. Van McElroy, the free safety, had to come up to stop Thomas, who is coming up on a 100-yard rushing day. We mentioned earlier that Mike Rozier of Houston having a big day, and Thurman Thomas limping to the sideline, having surpassed the century mark. He was the number 2 rusher in Big 8 history with 4,595 yards, trailing only Mike Rozier. Harmon comes in to replace Thomas. 3rd and 4. There's Harmon. He's to the 1. It'll be close to a first down. The Bills can pick up a first down. Scott Davis on the tackle for the Raiders.
Well, if the Bills get in the end zone this time, they've got to feel mighty good. There's Davis, who made the tackle the last play. The Bills would feel very good and comfortable with 27 points if they can get it in the end zone. And what we'd see, I would hope, would be the Raiders coming out there and throwing a lot of passes to those special wide receivers. I'd still like to see them get more action, Tom. And this offense, I know it's an offense of the 80s, and it's a scheme-type offense, but I'm not too sure that I'd be scheming with the offense with the kind of personnel I have in Lofton and Galton, Fernandez and Timmy Brown. My goodness. I know they run the ball a lot, the Raiders do, to help pass protection, but I'm sure Shanahan's main concern right now is holding the Bills to just 3 points.
Well, you see a decision coming up for the Buffalo Bills. They were just short of the first down. And so they can still make a first down without scoring a touchdown. They spot the ball on the 2, just inside the 2-yard line. And it'll be third down coming up. Riddick and Byram are in at the running backs for the Bills as Thomas and Harmon go out. It's Kelly still with the football. I don't know if he made it or not. Mike Haynes not fooled on the play as Kelly faked it to Riddick and then kept it on a rollout.
He didn't fool anyone with that fake. You see Kelly go ahead and pretend like he's giving it to Riddick and then try and sneak out around the corner. But Mike Haynes read the play all the way, and so did Russell Carter. They were both in excellent position to stop Kelly.
And they're going to measure again to see if he picked it up. If it's fourth down, what do you do? Kick the field goal or go for it on 4th and inches?
Well, I'd kick the field goal myself, Tom. That would force the Raiders to have to score 3 different times. Of course, a touchdown would be good, but I think at this stage of the game, on 4th down, you go for the field goal, especially with that lead and the way your defense has been playing.
Well, you were on the same wavelength with Marv Levy in the first half, but not this time. He's going to go for it.
And I don't understand why. What's he trying to put him away here? And he may very well be trying to put him away. But if the Raiders are able to rise to the occasion to stop it, it'll be a tremendous lift for the Raiders' morale.
So 4th and inches for Buffalo. Riddick and Byram are the running backs. Byram the fullback and Riddick the tailback in the I formation. Riddick. Touchdown. So the gamble pays off for the Buffalo Bills, and Mike Shanahan and the Raiders, after turning the ball over, see it result in a Buffalo touchdown on the Riddick run.
Jim Richer, number 51, and Will Wolford did a tremendous job of blowing the Raiders off the line to enable the back to get in for the touchdown. Riddick. I mean, it was just good blocking up front. Once again, they went to the weak side of the offense that time. They made a strength in the formation to the right, and the Bills took it back to the weak side, and I believe they fooled the Raiders as well.
Riddick has now scored 12 rushing touchdowns this year. Norwood with the extra point, and it's good. So a Tim Brown fumble turns into a Buffalo touchdown. And with 12:34 left in the third quarter, the Bills have upped their lead.
Villapiano. Do you know Phil Villapiano?
Yeah.
Get out there.
Once again,
Riddick, by the way, has scored 13 touchdowns, 12 rushing touchdowns. That the kickoff?
By the time you get back, I'd love one.
Yeah.
Just with some
Oh yeah. Okay.
cream or one of those little cream. Yeah.
I was going to wait till they were on defense.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, Tom, I agree.
All right. Still has a knee. What part of it? Strained, and Conlon re-aggravated the foot.
Are they even out here now?
Rob Riddick, who led the NFL in scoring last year before he was injured in November, has scored his 12th rushing touchdown of the year. And it puts the Buffalo Bills up 20 now on the Los Angeles Raiders. Buffalo has gotten 10 total points off Raider turnovers in the game. Scott Norwood with a kickoff, sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Adams takes it out of bounds, and they'll have to kick over. They'll take it at the 35-yard line. They have that option.
First down.
Thank you, Joe. Joe just whispered to me they'll take it at the 35.
You know, the Bills are happy with that. What they're trying to do is not put the ball in Tim Brown's hands, and I believe Norwood's kicking the ball short to the right side to keep it away from Tim Brown.
Brown leads the NFL in kickoff returns coming into today's game.
Well, the Raiders are going to have to go up top. I mean, they're wasting time with the running game now. They're down 20 points. They've got to open it up.
You're going to get your wish. You're going to see him air it out for those wide receivers. No, you're not. Bo Jackson up the middle to the 40, where Leon Seals makes the tackle. Now, this Bill defense has suffered some injuries during the course of the game. Art Still has sprained his knee, and Shane Conlon has re-aggravated a foot injury, and they are not on the field and will not return today. It's a good thing they have a 20-point lead. Two key members of that excellent Bill defense sidelined by injuries today. 2nd and 4. Bo again. Bo's got a first down and more. He's into Bill territory to the 45-yard line. Leonard Smith and Mark Kelso were hanging on to Bo for dear life and finally got him down. But it went for 14 yards, and maybe you don't have to throw if you've got a Bo Jackson.
That's right. I mean, they're making it look so easy right now. A huge hole up front by Chris Ream that opened it up, the left guard. Now, if they can get running gainers like that, sure, they don't have to put the ball in the air. But right now, the Bills are probably playing pass. They were probably playing pass on the last down, and that's why there was such a big hole.
First down play, once again, Bo Jackson. Once again, good yardage. Crosses the 40 down to the 39-yard line. Ray Bentley making the tackle for the Buffalo Bills. Well, let's update the scores for you. The Houston lead over Cincinnati, now 24-3. It's turning into a big day for the Buffalo Bills and their fans. Chicago leading 4 over the Lions. Green Bay still with that touchdown lead on Minnesota, which is the surprise of the day.
I'll say it is. Kansas City's in there hot with the Giants. That's a close game.
And New England finally breaking that scoreless tie, 7-0. 27-7 here at Rich Stadium. Bo and Schrader ran together. Bo finally got the handoff and is stopped short of the first down by about a yard. Bentley and Talley sandwiched him at that point.
Well, if you're the Raiders and you're getting yardage the way they have been these last 4 carries or so, you'd want to keep the ball on the ground. Things are looking good for them. Right now, they haven't decided whether they have a first down or not. The officials are still trying to size it up, and they're going to bring the chains out there.
I said it was short. We're going to see. We're going to measure as Shanahan looks on from the sideline. And just by half the football, they do have a first down. So Schrader, keeping the ball on the ground, has a first down. What do you call that outfit he's wearing under his helmet there? Did you ever wear one of those?
No, I didn't. I see Bo doesn't have one on, but he has the visor on. I don't know whether that's a ski hat or what that he has on. Bo wears that visor that I think is a good idea, and I think some quarterbacks should be wearing it too and help protect their eyes and hide them.
Vance Mueller is on the field now with Steve Smith as both Jackson and Allen are on the sideline. Schrader looking to pass. Completes the pass to the 30-yard line. Making the reception was Andy Parker, the tight end. Cornelius Bennett covering on the play for the Buffalo Bills. Bennett, one of those new wave of NFL linebackers.
Tell you what's a new wave or a new thing we have just seen by the Raiders, and that's throwing to their tight end. I mean, since this new system has come into play, their wide receiver, the tight ends have been taken out of the passing game, practically taken out. And this is the first time they've gone to the tight end today.
Only the 3rd reception of the year by Parker. Here's Marcus Allen. Thrown back after taking it almost to the 25-yard line. Leon Seals, who's come in to replace Art Still, gets the tackle for the Buffalo Bills. Well, the tight end was so much a part of the Raider offense. Todd Christensen injured, but only had 11 catches when he went down.
I know, they just haven't been using the tight end enough in this scheme. Of course, it's a new system, and the fellas on the team are just getting acclimated to it this season. But you've got to be able to work that tight end into your offense more. It helps the wide receivers avoid double coverage.
First down for the Raiders from the 25 of the Bills. Again, they keep it on the ground, and Bo Jackson keeps the legs pounding. Takes it down inside the 15-yard line. Seals and Kelso. Well, the Raiders didn't panic and go to the helter-skelter passing game. They've gone to Bo instead.
I would have panicked and put it in the air. But meantime, I didn't have a running game like this, and I didn't see this kind of running game by the Raiders earlier on either in the first or second quarter. They have found the soft spot in that Bill defense, and possibly it's because Still and Conlon are out of the game.
That's right. Two great defenders against the run. Walt Corey said Art Still was the best defensive end against the run he'd ever seen. Here's Schrader on a bootleg, trying to get a block on the corner. Tim Brown tied his man up for a while, and Schrader is out of bounds inside the 10.
Oh, does that take some nerve to take a bootleg around Bruce Smith's end without a lead blocker? Oh, my goodness. Schrader did a good job that time. Bo Jackson, of course, who's been doing the bulk of the work, carrying the ball. This time we'll make a little fake, and let's see what Bo does. Is he going to get back into the action?
Whoa.
Oh, Ray Bentley says, I don't care whether you have the ball or not, Bo. You're going to get hit. You're a running back.
You know, Schrader is the 4th leading rusher on this team. 2nd and 5 after a 5-yard gain. Bo Jackson didn't get anything that time. He got the handoff, and Scott Radisick was all over him. There's Radisick. Fred Smerlis now is injured, so they've already lost a 1/3 of that excellent defensive line when Art Still sprained his knee. And now Smerlis is shaken up. Well, the Raiders are still alive, though they trail 27-7.
Yeah, Kenny, I know you're still looking for Malcolm Taylor down there. Well, the Raiders have the ball now. Malcolm's not out there. Okay. I don't. There's Smerlis. Before he went down, he heard it there. Can't tell what it is. He's all right. I see him moving his left leg.
Fred Smerlis waddles off the field.
From here, it looked like his right leg. So good. What is it? 2nd and oh, it's 3rd.
Well, they do that a lot.
Hey, we talked about that earlier. I wouldn't have him off the field anytime.
20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10 seconds.
Well, that was a prophetic sign as Fred Smerlis and Bo Jackson, seen there in his Kansas City Royals outfit collided on that last play. Smerlis a little shaken up, but he did walk off the field under his own power and is replaced in the lineup by Jeff Wright, a rookie out of Central Missouri, 6'2", 270 pounds, an 8th-round draft choice. 3rd and 4 coming up for the Raiders with the ball at the 7-yard line of the Bills. Schrader passes to Brown. The ball loose and out of bounds. There's a flag down. Wow, did Brown take a hit? Who was that? Was it Burrows? Derek Burrows is the one that blasted Tim Brown, and the ball came flying through the air.
Well, there was a flag on the play, too, so we don't know what that's about yet. I'm surprised that, you know, there was a question whether this pass was complete or incomplete, whether the ball went out of the end zone. Let's see if he does make the catch here or if it's going to be ruled incomplete.
The ruling on the play is incomplete pass. We had offside defense. We had illegal motion, 2 men moving, offense. Penalties offset. 3rd down again at the line of scrimmage.
Need a calculator to figure all that out.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference whether he had the ball or didn't have the ball. The offsetting penalties have canceled the play either way. Once again, though, a golden opportunity for the Raiders, and they had a penalty to match Buffalo's penalty, and this could have given the Raiders a first down or better shot at scoring. Now it's still 3rd down once again.
They've been their own worst enemy today. 3rd and 4 again from the Buffalo 7. 10th play of the Raider drive, which has been mostly on the ground with Bo Jackson. Marcus Allen to the 5-yard line. He did not make the first down. Leonard Smith and Leon Seals were ready for the running play to Allen. And it'll bring up a 4th down. And the Raiders have got to go for it, trailing 27-7.
Yeah, they've got to try and get the 7 points on. 3 points aren't, well, that's not going to help them very much. They are going to go for the first down as Bo Jackson's coming back onto the field. Well, he's going off, and Steve Smith's coming onto the field.
Explain that to me, Joe.
I don't know. You know, it seems like I'd have my best runner. I guess they have to figure that Smith's the better blocker in this way with the 2 good blockers in the backfield, Allen, Marcus Allen, and Smith. The defense doesn't know for sure who's going to get the ball.
2 seconds on the play clock. They get it off. Schrader being chased, passes it complete to Smith, and then no, it's incomplete. He lost the ball. He fumbled the ball. He didn't have it long enough, and the Raiders fail on their 4th down attempt. Shanahan was trying to call for a timeout as he saw the play clock ticking down, but they got it away. Schrader got the pass off, but it was fumbled and went incomplete, and the ball will go over to the Buffalo Bills when we return to Rich Stadium.
The thing is, they still have a chance. You know, if Seattle beats Denver,
then they beat Seattle.
Then they beat Seattle, yeah.
Okay. Shanahan was desperately trying to call a timeout before that play got underway. And then he watched as the pass went incomplete. First-year coach of the Raiders, who's been undergoing some second guessing, some of it on the part of the owner, Al Davis. Jamie Mueller carries for the Buffalo Bills as they take over after the 4th down attempt failed. And Mueller gets a couple of yards to about the 8-yard line. Scott Davis and Van McElroy get credit for the Los Angeles Raiders stop. I thought I was going to go a whole game without saying that.
Or a whole season even. Well, we know it's the Raiders anyway. They're just not playing like the Raiders we remember. They didn't used to make those kind of mistakes, dropping passes for first downs, dropping a pass for a touchdown. They've hurt themselves today.
You know what was going through my mind, too? Some of the great games these two teams have had back to the old AFL days. Jamie Mueller rambles across the 15-yard line close to a first down before Bill Pickell chases him down. 24-6. I'm not surprised that the Oilers are beating the Bengals, but the margin does surprise me a bit.
How about that Green Bay over Minnesota margin? Now that one surprises me.
Yeah, that's a shocker. That's a real shocker.
Last week it was Tampa Bay over the Bills. New England's handling Tampa Bay, but only by 7 today.
27-7 here at Rich Stadium with 5 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third quarter. Wheeler did pick up the first down, and the Bills keep the drive going. Thurman Thomas, flags fly.
Greg Townsend, 93, was hitting the back of the head with that flag that was flying, Tom.
Holding call against the Bills. He turned around ready to pop somebody.
Yes, he did. Well, the Raiders aren't out of this thing yet now. I mean, we still have 5 minutes left. The Bills have been hurting a bit defensively because of the injuries to Still and Conlon.
Number 88, offense, at the distance, still first down.
Metzeler is called for holding for the Bills. If the Raiders can stop the Bills right now, they'll get some good field position. And once again, I can't help but thinking, watch this flag. Now, once you hit number 93 in the back of the head, there you see 93 getting a choke hold put on him. That's Townsend. Now, watch the flag. Boop! Right there. He should have hit Metzeler's with it, number 88. He's the guy that did it.
First and 19. Mueller, not much. Bill Pickell, the veteran nose tackle of the Raiders, was ready for that. So the Los Angeles defense here with a big series can turn the ball back over to their offense in good field position. And they need a quick score to get back in it, trailing 27-7.
Kelly should just take his time now. He's got 4:14. Keep running the ball. Right now, you certainly don't want to have a turnover to give the Raiders a chance at the quick score. I could see Buffalo using all the clock on the ground right now, keeping the ball on the ground. Don't even try a pass.
The Bills have played turnover-free football today. Thomas to the 12. Lyndon King on the stop. Harmon and Riddick now come in at the running backs, replacing Thurman Thomas and Jamie Mueller, with a 3rd and 15 coming up. And the Raiders respond with their nickel defense.
I'd be surprised really to see the Bills put it up in the air with 3rd and 15, the way that defense has been playing, and with this lead. I can see him running a draw play, maybe a little screen, but I can't see Kelly throwing the ball downfield.
He doesn't have anybody to hand it off to back there.
I know. He's going to throw it downfield someplace.
And it's complete. Flip Johnson makes the catch with Mike Haynes immediately making the tackle, and it will be short of the first down.
Sure, big deal. They made the completion. Nice catch, Flip, but meantime, you didn't get enough for the first down. I mean, here Mike Haynes is on him. It runs a pretty good pattern, but Flip Johnson is supposed to know how deep he has to go to get the first down, and he didn't get deep enough for it.
What would you say to a receiver when he did that to you?
I wouldn't, you know, I couldn't say it right now. I'd probably be so upset. I started to say I wouldn't talk to him for a while, but I would definitely point out to him, in case he didn't know it, that he didn't make the first down. That's basic.
Kidd to punt, and Tim Brown to try to field it. Remember, he fumbled the last one, which led to a Bill touchdown. Fields this one on a fair catch at the 45-yard line. So the Raiders do indeed have pretty good field position as John Kidd trots off after a 29-yard punt.
Pretty good field position, Tom, but they need to start putting the ball in the air. I know I mentioned it the last time, and the Raiders had a nice rushing attack going, but all they did was use up a lot of the clock, and they didn't get any points on the board. I mean, if they run it on the ground now, the Bills won't allow the big gainer on the ground. The Raiders are going to use up too much time on the clock to get back in it.
2:21 left in the third quarter. Buffalo leading 27-7. Play action pass. Bruce Smith chasing Schrader, and then the pass knocked away on a good defensive effort as well by Scott Radisick. Good defense all the way around. Smith bearing down on Schrader to pressure the pass, and Radisick to knock it away.
Well, you called it. That's what broke it up. Schrader would like to stay at home and throw this ball, but Smith comes from behind him and starts to force him wide, and it's a good thing the ball wasn't intercepted. Radicek's in good shape and dives out in front and nearly picks it off. There's Bruce Smith hiding behind the pack. It's hard for him to hide, you know. He's a big man.
He's trying to get a little shield from the wind is all he's doing. Super Bowl most valuable player, Pro Bowl most valuable player a year ago. Made the Pro Bowl and went on to be MVP. Schrader again under pressure, this time from Talley, and he completes it to Tim Brown. Brown wrestled down. I believe he has enough for the first down as he is to about the 43-yard line of the Bills. Nate Odoms wrestled him to the turf. It covered 11 yards.
Coming left to right, you see right underneath there is Tim Brown. He just got in a foot race going cross field with Odoms and outran him. I'm still surprised I haven't seen one pass thrown in Lofton's direction today. And my goodness, folks, you football fans know James Lofton is one fine receiver, and not to get any work at all. It just shocks me.
7 times to the Pro Bowl. He's caught only 25 balls all year, no touchdowns. Schrader does go deep for Brown. He draws double coverage, somehow makes the catch and scores. Schrader gets a pat from his coach, and Tim Brown split the defenders and took it in for a 43-yard touchdown catch.
See, that's the thing I'm talking about. You give these big play people enough opportunities, they're going to make the great catch for you. Here, Tim Brown is over there, and he gets double coverage while Kelso gets over there late. But watch this catch. Beautiful catch there, and he steps right around him and gets in the end zone. The more chances Tim Brown, James Lofton get at making those kind of plays, the more big plays they'll make.
Tim Brown scoring his 5th touchdown of his rookie season, and Barr's point after is good, and the Raiders strike quickly on a 43-yard Schrader to Tim Brown pass, makes the count now 27-14. Well, Brown in the running for Rookie of the Year, certainly a strong candidate. John Stevens, the New England running back, and Ickey Woods also contenders. And here you see the talent of this Heisman winner.
Yeah, he's getting pretty good coverage from Wayne Davis. I mean, Davis is right with him, but Schrader throws the perfect pass to the outside, and Brown's able to catch it. Got to give Jay Schrader and his offensive line a lot of credit on that play, too. First, Schrader had time to throw the ball, and then he put the perfect pass out there for Brown to make the catch.
So the Raiders with a little new life in 1:25 left, and let's check the other scores now on our 10-minute ticker. 27-6, the Oilers over the Bengals. The Bengals only scoring 6 points. That's a story in itself.
Yeah, and look, Wayne Font's Detroit Lions, they're doing a job for Coach Fonts. Now, I know he's the interim coach, but there's been talk up there about his being the regular coach next season, and I can understand why. Kansas City is giving the Giants all they want to handle.
Nick Lowry field goals keeping the Chiefs within striking distance. Dallas and Washington all tied up, and really low-scoring game at Foxborough today. New England clinging to a 7-0 lead. They're already in the 4th quarter. Must be a lot of running going on. Barr's kickoff taken by Johnson. Straight up the middle behind the wedge. Johnson across the 35 to the 37 before he's tackled by Steve Strahan. So what about the play calling now for the Bills? Will they try to grind it out and use the clock here, or would that be too conservative an approach?
See, now it would be too conservative. They've given him the quick score. The Bills have to go back to work with what got them there, the 27 points on the board. They need to run the play action passes, get good gainers on the first down. Kelly can't be conservative now because the big play is, boy, it's there anytime from the Raiders.
Riddick and Mueller are the running backs. Mueller, good hole for Mueller. Pounds up the middle to the 45. Van McElroy, the free safety, stopping Jamie Mueller, 6'1", 225 pounds.
Just a good hole in there by this Buffalo Bill offensive line. You'll watch big Jamie Mueller hit through there. Not a hand is laid on him as he cuts back against that crack. Matt Millen, number 55, the linebacker, flowed out of the way, and Van McElroy was forced to make the tackle all alone.
Mueller again. Not much there. Nobody much knew Mueller out of Benedictine College, but He caught the pro scout's attention when he ran a 4.4640 and bench pressed 450 pounds.
And he's 6'1", 225, so that's pretty darn fast.
Scott Davis, the rookie out of Illinois, got the tackle for the Raiders as we come to the end of the third quarter of play. We won't have another play run before the clock will tick down. And there's the gun. So at the end of the third quarter, the score. Braving the elements to come to the game today, and they just gave themselves a hand. They have just set a new NFL record for in-stadium attendance, 622,793 for the season, breaking the old mark of 601,000 held by the Detroit Lions. Kelly to pass on first down. Short hopped. It got to Trumaine Johnson on one hop, and Kelly paid for it.
Big Rod Martin, number 53, the linebacker for the Raiders, got back in there in Kelly's chest. Only wimps watch the game on TV. Now, that's not true. I know that for a fact that is not true. My brothers are at home watching, and not one of those fellas are wimps. And I have some buddies out in L.A., and they're big and strong. So not only wimps watch on television.
I'll tell you what, I thought there'd be a lot of empty seats here today. It was so cold, the weather was so bad, I thought maybe 55, 60,000 would show up. 77,000 to break the record. Mueller. Good hole for Vance Mueller, or Jamie Mueller, who's finally tripped up by Ron Fellows, or he was going to go a long ways. As it is, he picks up a Buffalo first down. Jamie Mueller's having a big day. That one for 15 yards, and another Buffalo first down.
Can't help but wonder where these defenders are for the Raiders. There you see a huge hole open up there. Kent Hall, number 67, was able to slow Matt Millen down, and there's just a tremendous hole. Fine blocking job by the Bills.
Three-quarter stats find the Bills leading slightly in total yardage. They have more rushing yards, but the Raiders more passing yards. On the scoreboard, it's 27-14. Mueller again gets the handoff. Not much that time. Millen and Robinson pounce on him. We haven't seen Thurman Thomas for a while, and he limped off earlier in the third quarter. I don't know if he might have been shaken up a little bit because he hasn't been back in there.
You know, I'd have to believe that the Raiders are going to have to do something defensively, come up with a big play, get 8 or 9 people up on the line, because they can't afford to let Scott Norwood get in field goal position. Another 3 points would force the Raiders, it would put them in bad shape.
Saw Thomas on the bench. He gained over 100 yards. Early in the third quarter, he had that total over 100. Chris Burkett. Kelly drills it to Burkett, who makes the catch to the Raider 20. Buffalo has another first down. That one for 17 yards. Mike Haynes tackled Burkett, but too late. He already had the first down.
Well, Burkett gets good position on Mike Haynes, and Burkett goes 6'4", Tom, so you can't push him around very much on the outside. Burkett has good speed, but being 6'4", he's a strong guy, and he's not going to get held up at the line of scrimmage. That time he just got inside of Mike Haynes and beat him to the ball. Good pass by Kelly.
Butch Roll replaces Pete Metzelaar as a tight end for the Bills. 9 of 22 on the day for Kelly, 113 yards. Riddick on the handoff, thrown back by the Raider defense.
Yeah, but right now the Bills are content to keep it on the ground to chew up that clock now. I wouldn't think they'd put the ball in the air again. I'm guessing at a lot of plays, Tom, obviously. But, you know, the game changes sometimes from play to play. Right now, the field position that the Bills have, they're interested in that field goal more than a touchdown right now, and they're interested in keeping that clock rolling.
Marv Levy with a headset on. Next to us up here in the press box area, the assistant coaches of the Bills who are calling the plays are trying to defrost their window. They need an ice scraper. Pass complete inside the 10. Trumaine Johnson with another clutch reception. And the Buffalo Bills once again knocking on the door of the goal after a 12-yard pass completion.
Well, I'm a little surprised, but I guess if you have confidence in who called this Bill offense conservative in the first place. I mean, here he is throwing the ball again, and Trumaine Johnson's wide open. I guess that probably could have fooled the Raiders, too. I would think they'd be running the ball, keeping it on the ground.
Update from the Astrodome. Mike Rozier with another touchdown run. It's 34-6. The Oilers leading the Bengals. Rob Riddick powers his way inside the 5-yard line. There's a penalty marker on the play as Matt Millen was down at the bottom of the stack for the Raiders.
Well, we've talked about the Raiders having the opportunity to win the Western Division depending on what happens in their last game or what happens with Denver and Seattle today. Tell you what, they're not playing like any champion that I've seen around in a long time. I mean, they may somehow find a way to win that division, but
5-yard face mask foul. In this case, half the distance from the goal to the goal line from the 4 to the 2, 26 defense. It'll still be first down.
There you see the hand of the face mask.
He said 3-6, but he meant 2-6, Dan McElroy.
Yeah, you're talking about the Raiders not looking like a divisional championship team. That might be a commentary on the strength of the AFC West itself.
Yeah, I mean, the best record going into this week was shared by the Raiders and the Seahawks and Denver with 7-7, 500 ball. Ooh.
Play action pass. Kelly drills it complete for the touchdown to Butch Roll, who makes only his second reception of the season. It goes for a score.
Good shot by Kelly. Smart play action fake that allowed Butch Rowe to get in that secondary and get open. Van McElroy, the safety in the center of your screen, right center, just bites on that fake a little bit. Now he can't get over there fast enough. Watch McElroy. He just can't quite get there enough because he bit on that play fake in the middle.
So Butch Roll, who is primarily a blocker, shows us his spike form after his only second catch of the year. Norwood for the extra point. And it's good. So Buffalo responds to the Raiders score with one of their own, and they stay in command of the game. We've got 10:56 left. The score now 34-14 Bills.
Sills, of course, is known as Dr. Sack.
Got it on his license plate. There's Seals. Got his hand muff behind him. I don't know if it's doing much good back there. You almost have to be handcuffed to get your arms in.
Well, he's so good. He plays with his hands behind his back from time to time.
Bo Jackson spun down for a loss in the play by Bruce Smith. Or was it Marcus Allen?
It was a bad call, whatever it was, on the offense behalf. I mean, it's time to get some points on the board. You got to start throwing that rock up in the air sometime. Bruce Smith. He made a big play earlier in the game. Watch on the right side of your screen now. You'll see him come in, and, well, he just makes a good play. Don Mosbar, who was an all-pro center for the Raiders, has moved to tackle to help out that line. Just couldn't handle Smith on that last play.
Bruce Smith, who was the first player taken in the '85 draft, living up to his expectations. Screen pass to Allen. Allen, that's his interference form, and then picks his way forward to the 35-yard line. He's going to be short of the first down. Mark Kelso got in the middle of those blockers to bring Allen down. Still 14-yard gain on the play, and will bring up third and about 4. Well, Marcus Allen was limping a little bit.
Well, you know, it's so cold out there. Your toes, your feet, your joints all tighten up a little bit. Whenever you bump those rascals, man, they scream at you. I mean, it hurts.
9 minutes, 15 seconds left in the game. Buffalo leading 34-14. Draw play. Marcus Allen will not get the first down. Darryl Talley smelled the draw and stopped Allen short of the sticks. Will the Raiders go for it, or will they punt?
Well, I don't know why they'd want to punt in this situation. Here you can see the draw play just doesn't get anywhere. Number 96, Leon Seals, is the first one to get Marcus around the feet, and then, of course, the tackle's made by Talley, number 56. But they've got to go for the first down here now, and the Bills are waiting for him. If they don't make it here, it's, I guess the party is over for the Raiders.
4th and 2. Nice pass by Schrader. It's complete to Lofton, and Lofton off to the races. He's at the 20, cuts back, and will be taken down at about the 7-yard line. Odoms and Kelso cut Lofton when he cut back, but a long gainer to James Lofton. You've been mentioning his name all day. 30 yards on the game.
Now they go to Lofton, sure. I mean, they're going to have to do it about 12 more times this game, too, to get back in it. This play hasn't worked for him the first couple of times they tried it early on, but here's Lofton making the catch, and then he just puts on some speed to get back across field and turn it into the big gainer. Well, you know Lofton wants to get that ball in his hands. He's been such a premier receiver in the NFL. It's frustrating for him not to even average 2 catches a game. Gee.
Raiders with a first down at the 6-yard line of Buffalo. Schrader passes complete to Steve Smith for the score. Well, we got into a touchdown trading battle here. The Raiders score, the Bills answer. The Raiders come back and score again, this time on the arm of Jay Schrader, who hits Steve Smith for this touchdown.
I don't think anyone expected this many points to be scored today with the weather conditions and all, and a good defensive team of Buffalo. But right now, Steve Smith just cuts across that middle, and there wasn't a Bill within 5 yards of him.
Set up to block now on the extra point try, which is good by Barr. Nice catch by Steve Smith, too. The ball laid out in front of him, and the second-year veteran out of Penn State made the grab for the score. Penalty marker down in the end zone on the extra point attempt. Dick Jorgensen's got his flaps down on his hat.
12 men on the field. Defense. The point is good. 5-yard penalty on the kickoff.
So we'll take a break. 7:15 left in the game. It's now 34-21.
Well, have the Bills committed a turnover yet?
No.
They're due then, huh?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thanks, Chris.
We're going on camera, guys. It's the final Chicago goes and the winning field goal is the last part of the game.
Look at the screen. What do we
want to talk about here?
Well, the Bills haven't made a turnover yet. With the big play capabilities, the Raiders can get right back in it just when they look like it's over. They bounce back. Big play by Lofton this time.
Yep.
Stand by.
Smith scored the touchdown to pull the Raiders within 13 of the Buffalo Bills and 7:15 remaining. And there you saw the quick strike capability that you've been mentioning is Lofton with a big gainer to set up the touchdown.
I know, and you know, the Bills haven't turned the ball over yet today. You kind of think that they're due for a fumble, a mistake, or an interception. And if that happens, hey, these Raiders are right back in it.
So the Raiders trying to make it into the playoffs by winning their division, still hanging in there. They're down by 13 now, but we've seen how quickly they can strike, and so it's up to Buffalo now to try to control the ball a little bit and keep it away from that quick strike Raider offense.
And that touchdown's got to fire up the Raider defense, too. They should be putting some pressure on that line of scrimmage and forcing Kelly to continue to throw the ball. You want to cause a turnover somehow, a fumble or an interception. And once again, with the big play capabilities of these special Raider people, the wide receivers, the running backs, and the strong arm of Schrader, Coach Shanahan can have these guys right back in the game here.
41-6, the Oilers over the Bengals. And that Chicago score, Kevin Butler kicked a field goal 32 yards with 4 seconds left to win it for the Bears, who continue to struggle a bit with all their injuries.
Have to call that a moral victory for the Detroit Lions, huh?
I bet it was heartbreaking, though, to lose one with 4 seconds left after playing one of the best teams in the league to a virtual standstill.
Tampa Bay, New England goes into overtime.
Here's the onside kick attempt expected by the Bills, and they don't get it. Instead, Flip Johnson takes it at the 15-yard line. Using his blockers, he dives forward to about the 37-yard line. Buffalo had called a timeout there, and I don't really know why. Do you, Joe?
I have no idea why. There was a timeout already with the kickoff and the commercial and all. I can't figure out why Buffalo called a timeout, if in fact they did.
They did. They have 2 left. And Mike Shanahan and his Raiders with a full complement of 3. The score, though, in favor of the Bills, 34-21 and 7:09 left. The Raiders need to get the ball back in a hurry. Mueller tripped up, stopped at about the 38 by Lyndon King. Thurman Thomas still has not come back after limping off in the 3rd quarter and gaining 103 yards on the day.
2 touchdowns by the Raiders would give them a 35-34 edge. I know that's asking a lot, could be far-fetched, but we've seen the big plays both by Brown and Lofton. You know the Raiders are capable of exploding any time, and this Bill offense has been flawless. They haven't dropped the ball or put it on the ground here with the interception of fumbles, and I know the Raiders would like to create one.
Mueller. Kelly fell down as he made the handoff to Jamie Mueller.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. I mean, he's allowed to fall down once he gets rid of the ball.
It wasn't very pretty, Joe. Mueller wasn't able to gain much either. They stacked him up. They met him right at the line of scrimmage, and he's just across the 40, bringing up a 3rd down and about 6.
Interesting situation right now. Should the Bills go ahead and put the ball up, or should they keep it on the ground? I'm one of those conservative quarterbacks, and I'm afraid I'd have to keep it on the ground here to keep milking that clock.
Well, they don't want a turnover because turnovers have been the story of the game. 3 of them by the Raiders. The Bills have turned them into points. Direct snap to Ronnie Harmon. Harmon still on his feet. Taken down inside the 30-yard line of the Raiders by Mike Haynes. They snap the ball directly to Ronnie Harmon, and he sets sail upfield.
Interesting play, good play for the Bills. Kent Hull, the center, is asked to snap the ball a little bit to his left that time, and he makes an accurate snap, and then Harmon does the rest with a huge hole. What a stiff arm that time he put on Van McElroy. 31-yard gain for Ronnie Harmon, the former #1 draft choice out of Iowa. In his 3rd season with the Bills, gives Buffalo a 1st down at the Raider 27-yard line. Now back to work with Mueller. Stacy Turan comes up to pop Mueller and send him down. Short game. Well, I really would be surprised to see the Bills put the ball in the air now. They're on the 25-yard line. They're working that clock nicely. A field goal would put this game out of reach. It would force the Raiders to have to score 3 times, and I don't think the Raiders will have enough time left on the clock to do that if the Bills continue to keep it on the ground for the next 2 plays.
Norwood staying ready. 2nd and 7 for Buffalo. Cincinnati is losing. The Bills are winning. The home field advantage could be theirs throughout all the playoffs. They were ready for Jamie Mueller that time. Scott Davis arrived simultaneously with the football.
Hey, that was a big play, too. That right there could have taken him out of field goal range. He had a loss that time. That's the one thing the Bills did not want to do, is take a loss. And with the loss, it could be tough for Norwood to get it that far. A good play coming in there by defensive end Scott Davis. Well, they really like this Davis. Talking with Al Davis yesterday, the managing general partner of the Raiders, and he's talking about this rookie Davis just playing the best ball he's had of any rookie play in quite some time. They're really high on him.
Had a good game today. Sets up a 3rd and 12 for Buffalo. Handed off to Riddick. Blockers in front. Riddick to the 15 and inside to the 14-yard line. Eddie Anderson tied him up, but Riddick with a big run moves the sticks again as Buffalo picks up a 1st down. 15 yards.
Good offensive blocking there. Number 71, Del Hellestray, and number 51, Richard, get out there to lead the opening. And it's just pretty good running by Riddick. I'm afraid right now the Raiders are going to have to hope that Denver comes out on top at Seattle and they can handle Seattle next week. That's appears to be the Raiders' only hope right now. They have to hope that they get help from someone else. The Raiders had the chance to do it themselves with 2 wins, but now they've got to rely on some other people.
From the 13-yard line, a Buffalo 1st down as we approach the 2-minute warning. Mueller, maybe a yard. Matt Millen right to tie up his feet.
Let me see now, Tom. If the Seahawks beat Denver, the Seahawks will go to 8-7, and the Raiders are going to 7-8 if they lose today. Now, if the Raiders beat the Seahawks next week at home, will that give the Raiders the division title?
Glad you asked that, Joe.
We're looking at these standings.
I think so, because the Raiders have lost only once in their division. And they would have split with the Seahawks because Seattle won the earlier game at Seattle. I hope that's right. Meanwhile, we'll give you some other scores. Try to change the subject here. 41-6, the Oilers. We already gave you that Chicago final. Green Bay upsetting Minnesota. That's a real surprise of the day. As we change, you'll see a final that's in from overtime at Foxborough, with New England still in the playoff picture as a wild card, just lasting over Tampa Bay with a field goal in overtime to win it 10-7. 34-21 here at Rich Stadium. The Raiders have called a timeout, stopping the clock at 2:04. So one more play before the 2-minute warning. We've got names from all the hit squad, the defense, Kelly's Heroes, the offense, and the Steve Tasker-led special teams, the Tasker Force.
The Tasker Force.
Tasker had been injured for a couple of games and very valuable. In fact, was Special Teams Player of the Year last year. Riddick gets the handoff, moves strongly up the middle. Scott Davis with another tackle for the Raiders, but he's close to the 5-yard line as we come to the 2-minute warning with Buffalo in control.
Are the Jills leaving?
The Jills are out of here. They're on their way up.
Oh, can we find out about those standings again, Kenny? Can we find out specifically about the standings if, in fact, Seattle beats Denver and the Raiders beat Seattle next week? Will the Raiders have won the division?
How do you bring that, Joe?
Oh, what about, oh,
good
I
question.
guess Harmon or Riddick? I don't know.
Yeah, Thomas,
geez.
over 100 yards.
How about the offensive line?
Yeah, let's give it to the offensive line, because we said that they would have to have a good game. They didn't against Tampa.
Yeah, it's that Western Division we need to get a good explanation for. Clinch division and maybe the home field advantage if they win next week.
Right, at Indianapolis.
15 seconds, stand by. Stand by.
Buffalo leading in the game and back on track apparently after losing 2 in a row. They will go to 12-3. And with Cincinnati on the way to a loss to Houston, will have the home field advantage for the entire playoffs if they can win at Indianapolis next week. Kelly hands it to Rob Riddick. Riddick is inside the 5, and the Raiders immediately call their second timeout to stop the clock. 1:54 left. And we'll take a break as well. We'll be back to Rich Stadium in just a moment.
If the Seahawks beat Denver today and the Raiders, and if the Raiders beat them next week, do they win the division? What if Denver wins? If Denver wins their remaining 2, then Denver goes. And the reason being the divisional records, or what? Head-to-head competition?
Well, they would have split with Seattle, but they have a 6-1 record in their division, I think. Yeah. 6-1.
Well, it's going to 6-2 now.
No, because it's in the division. This is not a.
Oh, division.
Yeah.
Conference. And Denver's God, what's Denver's overall record? They're 7-7.
7-7,
9-7.
20 seconds, stand by. 10 seconds.
The Los Angeles Raiders would appear to be going down to defeat today, but are still alive for the playoffs. But they'll be rooting for the Seahawks tonight as Seattle hosts Denver. Then the Raiders would have to beat Seattle next week. Because of that 6-1 divisional record, they would go to the playoffs. Scott Norwood to try a Buffalo field goal. It's about 22 yards. And it's good. Scott Norwood with his 3rd field goal of the day. Norwood, only the 10th player in NFL history to kick 32 field goals in a single season. The Buffalo lead now 37-21.
I saw that, Tom. I had to look up at that other one, too.
Well, the victory celebration is on. The final regular season home game for the Buffalo Bills, and they will finish unbeaten at home this season. Even Santa getting into the action as shout echoes over Rich Stadium. And gives us the time to honor our Budweiser most valuable player for the game. We said at the start of the game that the Buffalo offensive line had to redeem itself after a poor showing at Tampa Bay last week. They have done just that as Buffalo has rushed for 253 yards today to 108 for the Raiders. And so our Budweiser most valuable players of the game, the offensive line of the Buffalo Bills. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games.
Yesterday I asked offensive coordinator Jim Ringo of the Buffalo Bills how he thought Dale Hellestree would perform. He said, hey, I don't know. The kid hasn't played much for me. He said, we're going to find out. Well, Hellestree, playing for the injured Tim Vogler, has done a good job, obviously. I mean, when you rush the ball for 250-plus yards, that offensive line is doing some kind of work.
Norwood with a kick. Tim Brown at the 7. Brown is stopped at the 25-yard line. Dwight Drain got a piece of him. He was just camped there waiting for Brown to cut back. Managed to stop him. There's Drain, number 45.
Sure, he had outside containment. There's Hellestray. He's got to feel pretty good about his effort today. Again, he hadn't been playing a great deal in the offensive scheme. He's been snapping for the extra points and the punts, but he's not been in that offensive line getting the work with the center, Kent Hall, or with his tackle to work out the cohesiveness it takes for a successful offensive line. And obviously, he did a well of a job today.
3 years out of SMU, Hellestray, a 4th-round draft choice, was on injured reserve with a hip injury all 1987. Schrader across the middle, completes a short pass taken by Steve Smith, immediately tripped up by Leonard Smith of the Bills. No huddle offense now for the Los Angeles Raiders. Schrader again across the middle. Vance Mueller made the catch and managed to hold on to it as he was bowled over by Leonard Smith. Shanahan signaling in. He hadn't given up. Just 1:10 left. Schrader picks up the Raider first down.
You know, with the score 37-21 as a quarterback, you're wondering, what am I doing out here now? I mean, we're trying to get what? We're going to get some more points, another touchdown. They've got another game left against the Seattle Seahawks. The Raiders just called timeout to stop the clock with 57 seconds. I can't figure this out. Right now, they're just taking the risk of losing 1 or 2 of their ball players. They're going to put Schrader back there in the pocket with Bruce Smith and Cornelius Bennett coming after him. I think the Raiders ought to just run the clock out now.
Let's check the report card for the Raiders today. Schrader was 11 for 21. Couple of touchdown passes and over 200 yards. Did a pretty decent job.
I thought he did. Now, those statistics aren't telling the whole story. Schrader had some dropped balls. The fumble that he had with Bruce Smith was a good play by Smith. On the draw play where Schrader dropped the ball, that was an awful play by Schrader. But overall, I think Schrader's done a pretty good job today. He's not getting any help from his teammates, or not a great deal. Sure, Lofton made a big play, and so did Tim Brown, but they had no consistent offense at all today.
What about Jim Kelly? How do you assess his performance?
Oh, Kelly had a good day. He didn't put the ball in the wrong place. He was going to the right receivers. But I tell you what, there are a lot of quarterbacks around the league that could have operated this offense today. I mean, that line just did a terrific job of blocking for Kelly. Sure, he was accurate with some of his passing, but he got a lot of help from the rest of his pals today.
And the rookie Thomas with a 100-yard rushing game in less than 3 quarters of action.
That's the kind of football that Coach Levy likes to see, that ground game and defense.
Schrader, Smith wrapped him up, and he managed to get away, and he completed it to Steve Smith. Smith was then hit by Cornelius Bennett.
I mean, who are they fooling? What are the Raiders doing right now? Go ahead and run the clock out. They're just taking chances on losing some people that they might need next week against Seattle.
Telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Buffalo Bills and the National Football League is prohibited. Cornelius Bennett prohibiting Schrader from getting the pass away, and Schrader limps as he comes up.
Sure, he's limping. He's barely making it back to the huddle right now. Bennett threw him down, and Schrader bumped up something there. It doesn't look to be serious because he isn't back of the huddle right now, but he's limping. And you folks in Los Angeles, I mean, you've got to be wondering too. I know the Raiders are trying to get some more points, but why? I mean, they're out of the game. It's over.
Well, our thanks to Kerry Haller and Larry Pollock, our stats men here, and spotters Michael Gluck and Steve Solomon. The executive producer of NBC Sports, Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer is Ted Nathanson. Well, the Buffalo Bills finish the regular season unbeaten at home, and they go to 12-3 on the season, and they bounce back from 2 straight defeats with an impressive performance today against the Los Angeles Raiders. In the cold of Rich Stadium, the Bills beat the Raiders 37-21. We'll have some final comments in a moment. Okay. Okay. All right, Joe, I'd like to ask you then about the prospects for these two teams in one remaining game. Thanks, guys. Great job as always. Take good care of Dick and Merlin.
Thank you. Yes.
So I'll say, you know, we opened by saying an important game. So how do we look at it now? The Bills can get the home field if they win at Indianapolis.
It's a big game for the Bills to prove to themselves too that they had the kind of team they thought they.
10 seconds.
37-21 Buffalo Bill victory, and Buffalo still trying to get that home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They've got a game at Indianapolis next week. How do you assess their chances?
Well, I think their chances are good next week at Indianapolis. I saw them play the Jets yesterday, and they looked awful. All the Bills have to do to sustain this home field advantage is go up there and play like they did today. I mean, their defense did a good job, and that offensive line gave pass protection to Kelly and opened up some huge holes.
And the Raiders are not out of it yet. What about their chances as being champions of the AFC West?
Well, you know, amazingly, they have a good chance. It depends on what the Seahawks do today and what the Raiders could do with them next week out in Los Angeles. So the Raiders are fortunate to still be in the position they're in.
Well, our thanks today to our game producer, Kenneth Roy Edmondson, and to our director, John DeLisa.